Hello, everyone, and welcome to Casual Rage. Again, Casual Rage 16. We're getting up there in those numbers. Hello, everyone. Hello to my very full panel. We're completely full tonight because I don't pay. I only get 6. If I paid, I'd get 10. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone in the chat. Whoa, sorry. I had playback in my headset. How are we all doing tonight? Let's go around the panel. How are we, Stig?
Quite well. Just stuffed my face with pizza, so I'm as happy as can be.
Nice.
Very nice. I had pizza for dinner. It was very good. And Elaine, no cookies. Welcome, both of you, for the first time. How are you?
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here. It's a little early.
Yeah.
But I've got my coffee and ready to talk some Star Wars.
Nice. Very nice. And Tim, open airlock policy. How are we this fine morning?
Doing great. Don't have to go to work today because.
Did you get a chance to watch the episode? I didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't
finished it about 20 minutes ago. So
nice.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. All right, and Jeff, the Geek Blend. How are we this morning?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on. Got my Red Bull. I'm all ready to go, man.
We've all got like our Red Bulls or our coffees. This is my second one. So
do you have a Keurig, or do you actually have a coffee maker?
No, it's just instant coffee. So I got a kettle and just
Okay.
And of course we can't do this without Tuscan Bob. Greg, how are we this morning?
Good morning. I'm doing well.
Very good. Very good. All right, and the chat. Hello to everyone in the chat. We've got the usual suspects. We've got Blake Sinclair, and he's trying to trigger me, of course, as usual.
He's already started.
Miss Martin Muses, Teresa, hello. And, of course, Lost Jedi saying good morning to everyone. I did see this. Celestial. Yeah. Celeste.
Tuscan Bob saw it too.
Cool.
So
epic.
Yep, so did I. It's in my review as well.
We'll get into that. We will talk a little bit about that because that was interesting. I think everybody went, hold on a second. You only knew one other being like this? I think we all sort of thought, hang on, what about Yaddle?
I know.
Well, it could be explained though, but they did scrap the EU, but in the EU she dies between episode 1 and 2. Yeah. Which is why she's not on the council in episode 2.
But hold on, isn't Ahsoka still alive?
But Ahsoka joined the temple at 3 years old.
Correct.
Yeah, so she would know Yaddle anyway.
That's why I said. She would know her.
You could strain credulity and say, yeah, she doesn't know because of that, but it's, she was a member of the High Council, so...
We'll get into that.
You would think that the Jedi, even the younglings, would be very familiar with who the
I think Filoni forgot about Yaddle, not Ahsoka.
Yeah. Of course. Andrew, it's always good to see you, Andrew. Hello. And good morning. Who else we got here? Let me just scroll down. Sister Harrow. Thank you for being here, of course, Sister Harrow. And Daniel. Pineapple Gang. It's funny, I like pineapple on pizza, but recently I've been loving beef and onion with barbecue sauce. It was so good. Nice. So good.
I like every kind of meat and nothing else.
We also have Kitty Bear in the house. And we also have 15 people in the chat. Thank you all for being here. Please smash the like button and let's get into it. So let's just go around the panel. Stig, how much of this did you see? I know that you said that you'd only seen bits and pieces, right?
Yeah, I only saw bits and pieces. But what I did see, though, wasn't good things in terms of continuity and plot holes.
Okay. Well, yeah, we'll like I said, as usual, we'll go through the episode, and as we get to those things, we can talk about what we did or didn't like about them. Elaine, you've watched the whole episode, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And your general thoughts?
General thought it was a really strong episode. It's probably the best by far, I guess, of what we've seen, and I really like last episode too, but. The setting, the story, how Ahsoka is presented. Rosario looks amazing, but I like the little details of how she's kind of aged and her fighting stance and her moves. Her clothing, just everything the style looked really well done. and just the overall setting and the characters and what the actual story is. And we get more background of the child, and so there's some really good moments in there.
Yeah,
it was a strong episode, and I really like how Ahsoka was done.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome. I thought the same way. I kind of felt the same way. That opening scene was it was actually kind of cool to watch. So Charles agrees. Tim, your general thoughts on the episode?
Well, I'll probably be looking for silver linings because, basically to follow on what Tuscan Bob said, he kept saying they in his review, but I think we know it was Filoni. I felt like they focused a lot on making Ahsoka look authentic and feel authentic in live action, but there were a lot of just story issues that I think they had in this one. And we can go into this deeper later, but not only is he getting quests, he's learned to give quests. The Mandalorian, he basically told her, hey, if you take the kid, I'll help you with this. It's almost like he's a kid himself.
She never even agreed to
as
it.
he goes.
Yeah.
And she's a Jedi. We know they're very duplicitous.
She
She's the one trying to make the deal now. That's so
she
funny.
Didn't even say this. Yeah. Pray I don't.
I didn't even see it that way. I liked the episode. I thought it was a strong episode. I'm kind of with Elaine with it, but I do have a few issues, and again, we'll get to those.
The whole episode really is an issue because all through Rebels, Ahsoka was telling everyone that she's not a Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
And now the people she told for a couple of years that she wasn't a Jedi now claims she is a Jedi and sends the Mandalorian to her. And now she's kind of a Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
So what is it? Is she a Jedi or not? Because if she isn't, then Rebels is a massive butthole.
Well, she did consider training Grogu.
Yeah, but she's just a Padawan.
Right. But I mean, she's considering it in the episode whether or not to train Baby Yoda, Grogu,
she
whatever. She
stressed it all through Rebels that she's not a Jedi. She has no affiliation.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a continuity issue.
Yeah, it's a massive one.
In this one, I guess she's now a Jedi again.
Yeah.
And I guess she doesn't.
She's a Jedi in this episode, though. They call her a Jedi.
And I guess she doesn't want to become a master because remember, if you train someone, you're a master now. So.
Yeah. Well, I think it's interesting too where we are in this timeline. I guess there really isn't any Jedi Order to begin with, but there are remnants of it. So for all intents and purposes, that's what she is. She's the most Jedi of what's going on right now.
Yeah,
her and Luke that we know of, and so there is no formal training. There's no formal order. It's just what's left of it, and that's why Luke's journey is so interesting too. Because he basically, he did become a Jedi Knight only after confronting Vader, but still he's not technically formally trained by how their normal training and code and when he goes off to train others, he just has his wits and whatever he can find about the Order at the time. It's all in shatters now. And I feel like they did a good job of portraying that. She is a former Jedi. I think that's clear to us. But for all intents and purposes, these people, they don't.
Yeah, I'm just thinking maybe that's why she said that she couldn't train it, because she isn't a Jedi. She still thinks that she's not a Jedi.
That's not the reason she gives.
Well, the obvious question, though, is why didn't she send the child to Yoda? Because she doesn't know Yoda's dead. But she knows.
Does she know where he is?
Yeah, she communicated with him in Rebels.
Yeah, she did, didn't she?
Yeah, so how the hell does she know he's dead?
No. Ahsoka did as well. Yeah. Remember? She goes back to that temple with Ezra.
Maybe she felt him.
Oh, that's right, she did. That's
she wouldn't be able to because Yoda went to Dagobah because there's a dark side nexus there. And it masked his presence, so she wouldn't.
Oh, that's right. There was a dark side nexus on
that. So you're saying she should have sent him there to Dagobah, or
to
find Yoda, maybe.
Yeah, find Yoda.
She doesn't know he's on Dagobah either. She
doesn't know he's dead.
At some point that we haven't seen, she has talked to Luke, and Luke is like, "Yeah, Yoda's dead."
That's a possibility too.
Yeah, the whole
But
issue
then why not
is
send him
Luke
to
being
Luke?
out there is a problem for
Yeah, because
developing Ahsoka in this time.
Luke is a famous Jedi at this point. I mean,
No, he's just a myth.
Just a famous
Well,
fighter in the
is he
rebellion.
like
period.
famous throughout the galaxy though? Is it?
yeah,
How did they? What they have a news network?
Yeah.
They
Wait,
do.
yeah,
They don't in the new continuity. They have no idea who Luke is apparently.
Oh,
But
Luke.
the guy who
They should,
well,
though. I mean,
I know they
everyone
should,
in
but I
the
mean, I'm just saying
Empire
now.
knew Luke Skywalker blew up the Death Star.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I'm
but
pretty
did they know
sure
he was a
some-
Jedi?
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah.
because
How would they
sent
know
people
that?
out because he's waving a lightsaber.
Holo
around.
News Network.
Well, no.
Holonet.
Well, there is the
Holonet.
that is that
there's the holonet.
thing. There is
Yeah.
the holonet, but
Yeah.
there is also the fact that they do see him with a hilt of the lightsaber, and that does indicate that he is Jedi.
Yeah,
That's how
and they
people
put-
recognize Jedi.
Yeah, they put bounties on him too.
Just quickly, I didn't finish. Jeff, what do you think? Just general thoughts of the episode, please.
Overall, I enjoyed it. The last half, or when they're like, I wasn't a big fan of it. It kind of started off really, really strong, kind of went downhill a little bit for me. Ahsoka, I thought Rosario Dawson looked phenomenal as a character. I was really worried going into it with like how well Ashley Eckstein has done with the character, seeing her in a different form with Ashley without Ashley Eckstein's voice. I thought she sounded really good though, and I thought she looked great. But yeah, overall pretty well. But some of it was pretty boring, and of course, Mandalorian gets a quest, he gets upgrades, he gets new weapons, all kinds. Yeah, it's very video gamey still, but yeah, overall, I liked it.
Okay, cool. And Tuscan Bob, what do you think of the episode? General thoughts?
General thoughts, real quick. The casting for Rosario was well done. I was expecting that she'd be pretty decent. I'm a fan
Yeah,
of hers.
absolutely.
Me too.
I will say very much still a video game plot. I think the episode was poorly directed. There was a lot of pointless walking and slow moments where like they're walking through the town, they're walking out in the woods. It didn't really set anything up. It was just we need to. There was too much exposition at some points, not enough movement. So I don't think Filoni's a particularly great director. I thought what's his name did much better in the previous episode as far as directing the action goes. I thought the choreography at the end of the episode, that fight was atrocious.
I agree.
Like,
Oh,
frame by
man.
frame, that thing
Yeah.
is horrendous.
Wow. I really like that.
Watch it frame
Well,
by
it's
that's
frame.
interesting
okay.
too. You bring out
Yeah.
the slower moments. I
But-
kind of like when it took its time, and we were just in this new, different setting, and it was mysterious, and the fog was kind of rolling in, and it was really different than what I was expecting for a forest planet. When I first heard forest planet, okay, it's just
so did
another.
I.
We're gonna have another familiar setting. So I was pleasantly surprised by the aesthetic. And I like that it took its time in those moments to where we're just walking through it and really taking it in. But yeah, I see what you're saying too. That
I also agree with the directing side of things for a different reason though. The moments where we do see Ahsoka fighting, they are very. I mentioned this in my review. It seemed like it was really close up, but it might have just been the fact that there were just a lot of cuts. Like you couldn't really see what was happening. You knew what was going on, but you couldn't really like make out it completely until she sort of stops. Now, I understand that they want to portray that maybe she's moving very, very quickly because she clearly is, and we know that she can clearly move fast. But again, I don't know. It just seemed
unless
a
that
bit
chick
choppy
is
to
force
me.
sensitive, like she should have mopped her in like 4 seconds.
I agree with
Like,
that too.
and-
That
and
last
she's
thing.
got
also
dual
was- she
sabers
also
and
didn't
she's
wanna
fighting
kill
a chick with a stick.
I wasn't necessarily talking about that bit. I was more sort of, talking about that opening scene. I was like, it was a good scene, and it was probably my favorite
The opening-
part of the episode.
The opening scene
But-
I'd liked
Yeah, I didn't mind it.
visually, but then when she's like, after she slaughters all those people, she's like, yeah, I'm going to come back in a day. I was like, what?
Question:
I was like,
At
Alright,
the end
well-
of Rebels, didn't Ahsoka just give up the lightsabers and start using a staff and become like a Force priestess?
I think she still had her hilts. I
still
think
had
she
her
still had her
Clone Wars?
sabers.
No,
wait,
No,
no,
at the end
Rebels.
of Rebels.
Rebels.
At the end of Rebels, she's got the staff, and
she still has her.
she's in,
lightsabers.
Gandalf the White. Everyone was saying that, but
I I can buy her getting new lightsabers at some point if she just chooses, like, hey, I'm going to start wielding lightsabers again, like that.
Well, it explains the lightsabers in the
So
the novel.
She literally got new lightsabers then after the Empire was defeated.
All right. No, what happened was she obviously at the end of Clone Wars she leaves her sabers. They're supposed to be green, by the way. She leaves her sabers at the crash site and walks away so that it looks like she's dead. During the novel, Ahsoka the novel, she defeats, I think it's the 6th brother, and basically turns his crystals into her white blades. And that's why we see her with white blades in Rebels.
Yeah, but I think Ryan said that novel got steamrolled over though with the Mandalorian show.
I don't know.
No, it's still canon.
No.
Yeah, it's still canon, but they messed with it like they did with Chuck Wendig's book by changing a lot of stuff.
And James Luceno's book.
There's no audio coming through, right?
No.
No.
Good. It's one thing that we're not doing this time. See, like, I mean, this scene was pretty awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with it.
Fantastic.
It reminded me of something else. I'm from a different.
I just liked how
franchise. I
like
can't
you
think
would
of what
see
I'm
her, and
thinking
all of
of.
a sudden she's gone in the fog and the dark, and she's moving around. And like that was great. I thought that was really good.
Yeah. I liked how she was using the environment to her advantage.
Yes, but
That's
the one
neat.
thing that I didn't really like, she used the Force once, right? When she was hiding behind the tree in this scene.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She used the Force once. I don't know exactly what she did, though, with it.
She made a sound to distract them.
Mm-hmm.
She made a sound.
Kind of
she
like
threw-
Obi-Wan
she
did
threw a chunk
on the
of the
Death
tree,
Star.
too.
She did. Oh yeah,
That's
she did.
right. That's right. And then
Yeah,
she
she
sliced through and she throws a chunk of the tree. That's right. Again, it's an awesome, like, these guys are
It's a
obviously
great
guys.
sequence.
Yeah, it's
They're
very.
not bounty hunters.
It's very odd. It really surprised me though when she came out onto the. It was onto the scene. They didn't really build up to it, which
No,
I
they
thought was kind
didn't.
of
It was
interesting.
like, bang,
Yeah, it was just
right
all
in
of a sudden,
your
bam.
face.
Yeah, I felt the same way. I thought they were going to kind of build up to seeing her, and then all of a sudden
Yeah.
she's right there. I'm like, oh, okay, so we get her
As soon
right
as
away.
they did that, I was like, okay,
Yeah, here we
like,
go,
That,
here we
that
go.
was like, again, this opening sequence, it was badass, and I agree with Jeff that
yeah.
it sort of started to fall after, like, the first half, maybe the first 2/3 of the episode was decent, but then that end, it really drops off for me. And it's just one of the reasons is because of the threads that they throw out there as well. It's like, oh, like
Yeah,
what
I
is
see.
this show? What is this show supposed to be?
Backdoor
we were
pilot
told-
for Ahsoka
You-
series.
Sorry,
mean-
I haven't even gone.
Oh, do we not want to get into it yet? No.
No, go. What were you going to say?
You mean with Thrawn?
Yeah,
Those
yeah,
threads?
yeah. But like, yeah, we'll get down to that. But
I think
it's
that's
just
what Bo-Katan did too. That episode, there's like threads going out, like
And
because
this-
we know about her quest to get the dark saber from Moff Gideon, and there's stuff that's out there, and either it's like a backdoor pilot. I think she's definitely going to get a series for sure,
It seems-
and
it
Thrawn will
seems
be
that
the
this
big
whole-
bad.
It seems
Well,
that this whole
she's
series
a-
is a backdoor.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
That's
I don't
what
know
I
about
knew they were into
Bo-Katan
it.
though. I don't know if that's going to be another series.
I-
Are there rumors
There's
about
rumors. Yeah, there are rumors. that she's
Yes,
going
it's
to.
going to happen.
that? So
They
a
aren't
so a
bad.
show for Bo-Katan and then a show for Ahsoka, or is
Yeah.
it going to be in with the
Both of them.
Mandalorian as far as Bo-Katan
No,
goes?
they're going to spin him off, and there's also
Because
rumors Boba
he's
Fett's
a
getting spin
Mandalorian
off too.
now. Shouldn't he be with his people? I don't know.
Well, the Bo-Katan thing is a weird one because I saw the video the other day of Filoni telling us Bo-Katan is the same age as Obi-Wan,
yeah.
which means she
But,
should be
I mean-
close to 70 years old in The Mandalorian.
I don't think it works out to be that old. I don't think Bo-Katan worked out to be that old. I think she
Definitely
worked
in
out-
early 50s, though.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
no,
but also
Filoni-
Obi-Wan, you know, being on Tatooine, the suns definitely affect him.
Yep.
no, he was 57 in A
But
New Hope.
it's conceivable that she was early 50s because the lady in this episode, this magistrate, she's in real life 55 years old.
Yeah,
so
she is.
I didn't think she looked that old. So
No, she
you could
didn't.
look
Yeah.
young.
And
I
Rosario
definitely
Dawson
had a
had
problem.
like wrinkles in her Leku,
Yeah.
are they called Leku? Or
I don't know what they
yeah.
call them for.
is it also
but-
called that for Togruta?
She looks so good.
No.
But yeah, she
Uh,
it has some
amazing.
wrinkles in there in her I think they're called Tendra.
Yeah, but
Leku
I can't think what they
for
call
that
them for
too.
that species. But
Togruta,
that's-
but I think they did.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
Togruta.
But
So
they did have
that's it.
wrinkles in there too. So I thought that was an interesting touch.
I missed
while
it.
we're on this topic about spin-offs, like imagine this. So Ahsoka was in Rebels, and we had the World Between Worlds, right? And get ready for it. We have Leslie Headland's alternate timeline series. It's female-led. Maybe Ahsoka goes through that to this alternate timeline, and that's the show. I don't know.
I don't think. I don't,
Maybe
I don't
that's
think hers would be
reaching,
connected
so-
to anything.
I don't think
Because
so.
then it would explain why she's not around, with Luke and all
I
that
still
stuff.
think Leslie
So,
Hilton show's happening. So
well,
She thinks it's happening. I don't
she
know.
does. She does.
Ryan Johnson still thinks his trilogy's happening though too. So
Isn't Taika Waititi working on a project too? There's so many.
I
I don't know. I'll see it
they're
when
the
they
company of announcements. That's all they do is announcements.
Yes, I'll
Yeah.
believe it when they start actually filming. Even the
Absolutely.
Obi-Wan show.
Same
I'll believe
thing.
it when they start filming.
Agree. Absolutely agree with you, Elaine.
I'm
Yeah,
so
you know,
sorry, guys.
Dave-
My
Dave-
door's open and it just started raining outside. I'll be right back in just a
Okay.
sec. I've got to go
Okay.
close it.
Oh no.
Okay.
Yeah, Dave Filoni though is in an interview saying Bo-Katan is the same age as Kenobi, and Kenobi is 57 in Episode 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
And-
ages is all messed up.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah, it is. It's insanely messed up because she should be. What is it? The Mandalorian is 10
So-
years after A New Hope.
I mean, so Ewan McGregor should. I mean, they should have
I
gotten an
think it's
actor
less
that was
than 10
older.
years.
I don't know for the prequels. How they plan to make that work.
No,
I think
10
it's
years
less than
after
10
A New
years.
Hope. It's 10 years
Oh
after
man,
A New
Lord,
Hope.
yeah, it is.
4
You're
or
right.
5
Yeah.
years after.
So
It's
she
like
should.
4 years
Jedi.
after Jedi.
Yeah, so she
So
should be
it's-
67 years old, and she
So
looks
hasn't
like
like
she's
20 years
35.
gone by, like in real life
this
for
is-
Ewan McGregor, the same amount of time that's that was happening for
Bo-Katan has plastic surgery.
Revenge of the Sith. Yeah.
Yeah, Mandalorians. That armor has skin replenishment lotion built into the inside.
Well, she's
Yeah,
not taking
I have
to
that
ask.
stuff from the sun. Yeah.
Best
She gets the
Scouts
back
do-
to spray really hard. She huffs.
Yeah, the back
Yeah.
to spray. That's it.
She
Although
huffs
I-
back to spray.
That's not how back to works.
I will say though that when I would read the continuing adventures, obviously in the EU with Han, Luke, and Leia, I always pictured them as just. I never pictured them like getting really old, like how they are presented, or how they are in the sequel trilogy. I always imagined them as like, yeah, a little older, a little grays here and there, but it was mostly how I just remembered them. I don't know,
me too.
just gradually getting older. I
Yeah.
didn't picture them like really decrepitly old.
Then on the cover of Crucible, they look really freaking old.
Yeah,
That's like the
Crucible,
last
they
book.
do.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess. But even then, it's like, well, yeah, I guess so.
They still don't look that old on a Crucible cover.
The Kenobi show, though. I mean, what's the point? I
I
mean,
don't even know. It's one season, isn't it?
yeah,
Four
but
episodes.
four
is
Four
what they last
episodes.
said. Yeah.
to make money.
Episode
I don't even
9
know.
made
To make money, exactly.
No, it's to cuck him.
They're desperate for content.
Quest for
Well,
moment.
if they do
will.
an
That's what
adaptation
it is
of the
about.
novel,
No.
then
It'll be
I'd,
partially.
I'd be happy. But they're
Yeah.
not going to. I feel like they're gonna do something bad. Like I just
If
finished
they were
that book
adapting the
and it
novel,
was
they would
great.
need to rewrite it.
Yeah, the thing is, though, it's because of the sequel trilogy, not a damn thing Kenobi, Anakin, and Luke did matters.
Yeah.
In the end,
Because
They
they didn't
just-
destroy the Sith. So
Yeah.
watching
the
after
state of the
Luke,
galaxy is exactly
pointless.
the same at the end of Rise
Yeah.
of Skywalker as it was in
And-
Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
yeah,
the
and the
Emperor-
They
chosen
didn't
one was
care
a
about the
Palpatine.
previous.
Killed, and
Yeah.
there's one Jedi left. Except for now there's a bunch of Jedi left, and we don't even know how many Jedi She seems to indicate in this episode that there's more than
There's-
one. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Is Cal out there, and you got Ezra maybe?
Well, Ezra's
Who
out
kno-
there.
And who else they decide to add and insert?
So I
Yeah.
will say that was really intriguing to me also at the very end. I guess I still thought, well, I guess after I knew the plot leaks, then yeah, it wasn't going to happen. That the child wasn't going to go with Ahsoka.
Oh, I was so hoping because I wanted to be right on that. Like I've been saying
Yeah.
that the whole time. Ahsoka's going to take
Me and you
take
both.
the god out.
Tuscan Bob got
Ahsoka's
you.
going to
both.
take it out, and like I'm like, damn it.
But
They're
they
like,
really
they're
did
teasing it
develop
the
the
whole
child.
time.
more.
I'm like, take it, take it,
Yeah,
take
they
it.
did.
But I like
I've
how
heard
they
it's
developed the
gonna-
child in that regard, as far as his
Good
attachment
afternoon.
and how dangerous that could be. I thought that was kind of intriguing.
Oh, I disagree.
It's
Well, let's get there.
contradictory though, because she kills people willy nilly. How's that not dark side issues?
Okay, I did have an issue there, and this is the funny thing is like I watched the episode, I enjoyed the episode, I do my review, and I actually like, I'm like, yeah, this was really good, this was good, this was good. I did talk about some of the things that I didn't like, but then I start thinking about it after I've like put it out, and I'm like, she's sort of had dark side in this. I haven't seen
She's
Ahsoka
kinda
like
ruthless.
this.
Well, she's not
Like-
truly like on the light side. She's more of a gray Jedi, if anything.
Yeah, I don't
She's
like
not a
that.
Jedi.
I don't like Grey Jedi.
But
I
I
don't like
think
the
I thought that
idea
was
I like Grey
indicative
Jedi
of her white lightsaber. She's not really ascribed to
yeah.
anything. She's kind of a loner, this rogue warrior. And it even kind of presented itself like that, a rogue samurai.
Yes, but I still think that killing these people the way that she was killing them in this opening
Well, it's
scene.
for the greater good, though. That's the thing, and that's why she can't really ascribe to the Jedi, because this is her way of justifying the means.
Mm-hmm.
This is for the good of those people that are in there, so that's just how she's reconciling it.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think, like, someone who's not ascribed to either Sith or Jedi might act. It's that they kind of reason away their actions.
Yeah.
But it's not purely dark side, though.
Hey,
Too.
Tom. Hey, thanks for coming.
Hey, Tom.
The thing is with the people in the city,
Stay
she's
off Twitter,
kind of
Tom.
like, well, because the bad boss lady, I forget her name. She's like, I'm gonna make them suffer, and she's like, I don't really care. They're suffering anyway.
Yeah, and,
When they have this little-
using a
this little
lightsaber
chit-chat.
as a first resort is not very. It's not like she's very well trained.
I'm actually
Well,
a
how long
little
has she
annoyed.
been on there? I don't know.
I'm actually a little annoyed for Tom on this because I know that he likes Baby Yoda, and I know that he would have wanted to just have seen it, but he's had it spoiled. So sorry to hear that, Tom.
Well, you guys stay off the internet until
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, Twitter
You know,
is
that's
I
on
agree
you.
with
it's
that.
doing it every damn week.
Spoilers are your own responsibility. That's
Yeah.
my take on it. Sorry.
unless I see it,
Yeah,
I stay
sorry
off
it's
the
spoiled,
internet.
Tom. That sucks for you, man.
We'll get into that too.
But those
Grogu.
rumors were out there. Like, you could have found it.
Grogu. You pronounce it wrong a bunch of times
I
in
think
your
even
video.
the name
Grogu.
was out there in
Gro-
Reddit
what
last
is it?
year.
Grogu.
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 Yeah.
Oh.
Oh man,
Grogu.
I was sitting here with my mate, and he was saying it wrong so many times, like on purpose, to like put me off. I'm trying to say it
But it
multiple
worked
times.
because I watched your review and you're like,
I know.
Grogu.
I don't know. Grogu.
Sounds similar to Groot.
Grogu.
I am Grogu.
Yeah,
It sounds like
I
it sounds like Goku, but Grogu.
actually edited that part out of my
Okay.
review too. I said, it's very close to Groot, baby Groot, if you really want to get down to it. But anyway,
Yeah, there might be a
yes,
video out there
Blake.
That makes that point.
all right. So, again, I did feel like she is gone. The thing is even though she's this grey Jedi, again, I hate that term.
It's not a term
She's
at
still.
all.
There's no such
No,
thing.
that's right. There is no such thing.
You can be neutral better.
No. Oh well, yeah, Force user basically. with a
Yeah,
lightsaber.
you're just a
Yeah,
Force
yeah.
user. You're not a Jedi. You're not a Sith. You're just a Force user. It's
I like your spelling, Jeff.
Oh, thanks. I was correcting
Thanks.
Tim's spelling.
Oh, I thought
don't
we had
hear
an E
that.
at the end. Sorry.
Not on that one.
Grogu.
That one was a U.
Is that how it's spelled?
Grogu.
No, that's how I sound
subtitles
when I
is
say it.
GROGU.
Apparently,
It's
it's like
is
when
how
I
you
say
actually
no.
spell it.
When I say no, it's NOUGHE.
N-O-U-G.
That's why I
No.
added the E. Yeah.
No.
Because there's at the end.
Sorry, continue. What were you saying?
Okay, sorry. In regards to the Great Jedi thing, I don't like that, of course. But the thing is that Ahsoka would know that even if she is taking these people out of any form of anger, hate, or anything, she's dabbling down the dark side. She's seen what the dark side did to Anakin, did to Vader. She would never go that way as far as I'm concerned. And this does portray that a little bit like that. So,
It's not just the manner that she's killing them, it's also, like, her purpose. This opening salvo is literally only to deliver an ultimatum to the bad lady of the episode. So, like, she kills all those people only to say, like, give me what I want, and I'll be back in a day.
But they go out to attack her, though, right? She's approaching, and don't they go out to meet her?
Mm-hmm, I believe so.
Well, they're guarding, they're
out in the forest
on watch in front of their castle or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, she's the aggressor here.
Well, I mean, she wants to have a chat, but I don't think they want to.
Well, I don't know. I just didn't really. I thought that was a bit out of character for Ahsoka. That's all.
Yoda actually says.
Smoke signal,
and the reason why Grey Jedi isn't a thing and you don't achieve balance through being a Grey Jedi is because balance is achieved by there being no form of the dark side.
Yeah.
It's like with Yoda in Season 6 of the Clone Wars when he does go and find out how to sort of become one with the Force. He knows that the dark side is a part of him, but he knows that he doesn't allow that to control his actions. So, there's this... That's achieving balance, not this middle of the ground. It's not like fucking what's his name says 2 + 2 = balance. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, this is hot off. Go ahead, Steve.
The imbalance to the Force that they talk about in the prequels is the presence of the Sith.
Yeah,
the Sith being there is basically a kind of like a cancer in the Force. So when the Sith are gone, balance in the Force is restored. It's not a number thing or anything like that.
And this is hot off the press, but those new expensive Star Wars books, the archives, in, I believe it's the 2nd edition, it might be the 1st, where they talk about, might be the last. Anyway, Lucas has some quotes out there, and Thor Skywalker, whom I don't always agree with, kind of explains, he reads out of the book, and it actually ties into the midi-chlorians and wills, because when Sith are present, it disrupts those. So watch his video. I think it's like the most recent one. It's very interesting stuff. Even if you don't like M counts, I'm sorry, I used the wrong word. So
yeah, thank you very much.
And speaking of that, she did explain what the Force is, but no mention of midi-chlorians. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah,
it's what we.
Interesting.
But that's what we know.
Just in regards to this, Jonathan, I understand that they're scumbags, but they still are living beings. They are different to droids. Like if she was just taking out droids, it'd be a completely different story for me. Because they are living beings, I would think that she would actually string them up. She would keep them alive. She wouldn't necessarily kill them. She knows that she's got them beat. She knows that she can beat them. She sneaks up behind every single one of them. She could have just captured them and tied them up and just, all right, these guys, you get out of here, or whatever the case is. Like, I just feel that doing what she did in the way that they showed it, she's moving down that wrong path, and she should know better because of Vader, because of her experiences with Vader. That's my only point.
Back to the Great Jedi thing really, really quickly. I'm with you, Rhino. I hate that term. And people pre-Disney Lucasfilm and now people in Disney Lucasfilm and the higher-ups have all shot it down. There's no such thing as Great Jedi. There can't be. It just can't happen.
Sonya Brave Megatron?
Yoda in Episode 5 says that the Jedi... a Jedi never uses the Force for attack, only for defense. No, sorry, a lightsaber.
Knowledge and defense, yeah.
Yeah. And Ahsoka has been trained in that since she was 3 years old, so she would know that. Because if you're using it for attack, you're being the aggressor, right? And aggressiveness is a negative emotion, which means dark side.
Yeah, but they were attacking her first, though. She was self-defense.
Yeah, they went out.
She was trying to come up to this place, and they were going out to stop her and kill her.
Does this justify it? The fact that they killed aliens in the Clone Wars and you know, they were obviously killing troopers in the end. You know, after Order 66. I don't know.
No, it's
true.
the fact that the
There
aliens
is
are
that.
living things. The droids
Well,
are
I mean,
not living things.
when Obi-Wan and Yoda went to the Jedi Temple on Coruscant to get back in it, they were killing and attacking right away to kill the clones to get in there.
Yep. Absolutely.
For me, I just thought the scene was just her trying to, you know, speak to this magistrate, and of course she's evil and sends her goons out to meet her. Obviously, they had bad intentions, and she was just trying to get up there.
Yeah.
And just.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Again, it was a good episode. I just feel like it was sort of a little out of character. On
I
that
get that.
note, like there is a little bit of that, but again, it was the best scene out of the episode for me.
It was like Orange Chat Review said. To be fair, she's also a sum of her experiences from the Clone Wars.
Yeah, and that's what I got the feeling of, that she's been through something, and this is what she's become because of all of that. And so she has her knowledge of the Jedi Code and all that, but also her lived in her experience. And so I don't know what I call it, but it's definitely not complete light side, I would say. But her actions in the long run she did save that town. So
she never did this in Rebels, though.
Yeah,
there's Rebels in between there, and she never did this in Rebels.
I'm surprised that she still hasn't found Thrawn or Ezra in the last 5 years. I'm sorry. I
Can I say something really quickly too, though? Like, okay, so I'm looking at pictures of her from Rebels. Her, what are those called? They come off her head. I forgot.
I guess like
the
Twilight, they call
Montrolls.
them Leku too, or
okay. Well, they're longer. They're longer in Rebels.
Are they really?
Yeah. Here, I'll pull my screen.
They are actually really.
I
long
watched
in
Rebels, but I don't recall much of the.
They're much.
They're actually really long in Rebels. Can you bring that up?
Yeah, I'm
now that you mention it, I didn't know. Okay, so let's for those of you that are here that aren't watching, I don't know, there's 24, 25 of you here. Thank you all for being here in the chat. For those of you that don't know what's actually going on here, so Ahsoka's taken out these sort of assassins that came out to attack her, kill her, I don't know, just get rid of her. For what's her name? The other chick.
They just call her Magistrate. They don't have
Magistrate.
a name for her.
No, Morgan something. She has a name.
Did they give her a name? I'm missing completely. This person.
It's like, you're right. It's
Morgan something or other.
Brand new character too.
Yeah.
Morgan.
Yeah, because I went back and looked to see if she was connected to Rebels and Thrawn in any sort, and there's no connection.
So of course Ahsoka takes out.
I shaded.
Hang on, yeah,
for you,
I've got that.
I have some lore for you guys about the race. It says Togrutas were a sentient species from the planet Chile. They were characterized by their colorful skin tones, large montrolls, and head tails.
Montrolls, yeah, that's what I thought they were.
Togrutas montrolls allowed them to sense the movement of objects around them through something
like a sonar sort of thing.
Yeah, it's a sonar thing. They could sense.
Yeah, those are the top ones, though. The ones that hang down are those called Leku?
No, they're head tails. The Leku are Twi'lek only. That's right. It's in the name.
Daniel says that they're called Leku for both. I don't know. Daniel James said that.
No, it just says head tails on the Togruta.
Where are you seeing that at, Steek?
Wikipedia. The Leku for the Twi'leks are where they store their memories, actually.
Cool.
Leku's point down, Montrolls point up.
Is that on the Wikipedia too? With multiple sources.
No. The Leku is what they call Twi'leks.
Montrolls.
Leku, Joe. Montrolls.
That is interesting. Obviously, they're longer here.
Yeah, that is very interesting. They are much longer. So she's actually, and they're like even the top ones are actually bigger.
I wonder if that's anything to do with it being live action, how they would. I wonder perform.
If that's
artistic
what I was
license.
Too.
Yeah,
I wonder if they tested it in live action.
I'm fine with that. Of everything else, that's I'm not.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me. I just noticed it, and I was like, wait a minute, and I looked it up. While it was on.
Yeah, because the detail on Bo-Katan was like right down to her eyebrows.
Leave it up, Beth.
Huh?
I
will.
Leave it up.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're going down to like pretty much a boob. It's a good place to be.
With Bo-Katan, though, they got her eye color
That's
wrong.
almost her waist.
She has different
Yeah,
eye
they're
colors.
no
than
longer.
Wilson.
And even the top ones, look at how big the top ones are there, and look how small they are here, like tiny.
Yeah, I'd like to know the explanation for that, and I wonder if it has anything to do with just the movement and how she would move with them. I don't know.
I'm sure it's practicality.
I guarantee
the fact that
if you look at Shock T, though,
just been not practical.
The top
Shock T
ones
has
too.
Shock T has really long ones. Some
Really long ones, yeah.
They get older
Shock
when
Ts
they
are
get
really
older.
long.
She's older. She's much older.
But as they get older, they get longer. So she's older than she is here in Rebels. And if you actually bring up a picture at the end of Rebels with her in the white, Gandalf. Can you search that, Jeff, for me and see if you can find that?
I'll stop sharing this. Yeah, I got it. Mm-hmm.
So, okay, in
I
this
stand
scene...
corrected. The Togruta tentacle things is also called Lecus, and they have 3 of them. There's one at the back, I think.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, it's more like a flat tail-like thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna share it right now, Ryan. Give me a second here.
And this is interesting. For Twi'leks, the caressing of the Lecus.
Look how long they are there.
Yeah.
It's a cartoon.
I don't care.
Well, it was probably
I'm sorry.
practicality for the way when she moved and stuff in live action. I
Look how
guarantee it was
skinny though they
practicality.
go. You could have made that practical. You could have done something.
I don't know. I'd like to hear their explanation for that.
Me too. Yeah.
I have a problem with that.
Oh, okay. I saw that.
Because the details for Bo-Katan were, but the actress herself, Katie Sackhoff, she was like saying that, yeah, even down to my eyebrows, I want to add that.
Can I ask, did Ashley Eckstein do any dub over for this, or was this all? No. She did a great job then.
She did. I think they might have upped the pitch on her voice a little bit. I was wondering that.
At first it was really a little bit. At first, it was a little bit strange. Like, I was expecting to hear Ashley Eckstein's voice,
Same
and
here.
I thought they were actually going to do a dub over.
Me too.
And they didn't. And I was like, hey, well, this is a little bit strange. It's a little bit weird hearing her voice like this.
Yeah. It was different. I was wondering how she was going to look with the orange skin, and they did blue eyes for her, too. I was kind of wondering how it would turn out. So I was pleasantly surprised how, at least her... The skin color and the makeup and it looks really good. The Lecus has a little,
I saw people posting on Twitter tagging HBO Max, be like, see, you can do orange skin in live action. Hashtag Starfire.
Okay, so how does everyone feel about this conversation that does take place? So basically, this chick, man, I don't know their names. This
magistrate. Just call her the magistrate.
The magistrate.
I just watched it once, I don't know.
She's an evil bitch that's ruling this small town. She's got these. Everyone's a slave. No one's allowed to talk to each other. No one's allowed to do anything, or else they get pretty much tortured or executed by the sounds of things.
So she works.
Where was her mustache? That's my question.
That's Michael Bain next to her. I didn't realize it was him until I think a scene later, but yeah.
I was like, is he going to be...
a very simple question, though.
Yeah.
Why is she there? What is she doing?
Yeah.
Well, she's obviously freeing... She's doing it...
planet to hang out on for no reason.
She's doing Jedi stuff, but she's not
he's
Jedi.
He's talking about the
magistrate chick.
Yeah.
Oh, the magistrate. What's she doing there?
They say Ahsoka says she goes around from planet to planet, basically, taking whatever she wants.
Resources for the Empire?
Yeah, but the Empire is gone. There's no one to harvest resources.
Ahsoka actually says what she is doing.
Well,
yeah.
as we'll find out,
what she
spoilers for later,
previously.
we may as well use it, is that obviously she
just
works
set up
for Thrawn. They drop a Thrawn little teaser
in this
later.
podunk town with a bunch of peasants? Like, why?
Maybe there was something there that he wanted.
Yeah, one line probably could have corrected it, like they're mining something to make duranium or something like that. I don't know.
I'd have to watch it again to...
Me too. I'm gonna have to watch.
On the Beskar deposit or
something. It's early.
Yeah, there you go.
There's just no point for her to be there.
Man.
Just stay there.
At this point, she's like, Ahsoka shows up. Her first thing she should do is be like, "All right, I'm leaving."
The one
Well,
thing
you
that I
know-
will give them is they did a great job with the way she looks.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's one thing that, and you
Yeah,
know,
we can't
I'm someone
disagree
that
on that. Yeah.
I'm someone that likes Ahsoka. Or liked
Me too.
Ahsoka. I'm starting like again. I feel like she's just being too overused. That's my problem with her. And I kind of do agree that maybe she should have died at the hand of Vader. Even like even if they didn't kill her off at Order 66, like that moment in Rebels, you know, that could have been a satisfying ending for me for Ahsoka. And now she's become so important to nearly every era that we've seen. She's important in the prequels because obviously she's Anakin's Padawan. She's important to building the rebellion now through the Rebels series. And now she's important in this era as well. She was even a voice at the end of Rise of Palpatine. But like, I just feel that she's just being too overused. I do like the character though.
They're trying to make her more important than Luke.
Yeah. I do think Luke's coming. Just an FYI. I think Luke's coming.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that at the ending.
Yeah,
G'day, Will.
You know,
God bless you too.
When I heard Tython, I was like, that's awesome if we're going to Tython.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see that.
is it
Okay,
Luke though, or is it Jake?
Jake.
I'm not sure though about Luke though. It's I don't know. I don't want them to just leave him alone.
Yeah, but they won't.
You haven't proven yourself to handle
Agreed.
Luke, or I don't know. But again, I'm nervous about Thrawn too. He is one of my favorite characters as well, up there with Luke and Mara Jade. And but the way that Ahsoka is presented, I'm hoping that he'll look just as good in live action. But yeah, that's another character I'm kind of wary about. I hope that they portray well. Did y'all like him in Rebels? His portrayal?
No.
Thrawn,
He had
I haven't watched much of that.
He got defeated by
Okay.
the tentacle monster.
This is the really funny thing with Thrawn with me is that my first thing with Thrawn was Rebels. I never read the Thrawn trilogy.
Oh, so good.
And I really liked Rebels. I liked Thrawn in Rebels. I did have problems with Rebels, especially, yes, Greg, the helicopter lightsabers. I do hate them. They are ridiculous.
That made me.
But
Nobody who worked on that show should ever work in Star Wars again for that reason alone.
And basically what they did to Thrawn on Rebels, they reduced his IQ to 35 and had him behave like Gargamel from the Smurfs.
Yes. Or Cobra
Yeah,
Commander
I
from
didn't like the
G.I.
way
Joe
he
or something.
looked. You see images of him.
Starscream.
I'm with you on
yes.
that too. No
I mean,
cookies, absolutely.
Elaine, you're correct about the appearance, and what pisses me off is for this $150 edition of the newest book, I guess it's Chaos Rising, they have this painted art, and they use the old design. It's like, why aren't you using your new design with the Romulan head ridges? And I asked Del Rey Books that, and they're like, oh, every artist has a different interpretation. It's like, no, because you knew that was, you could get the old fans to buy it too. That's the real answer.
Yeah,
but I'm not paying for it.
Thrawn on Rebels, he was supposed to
Hang on, I
be a
gotta get
threat,
some.
but they turned him into a retard. I mean,
Yeah, well, see, that's the funny thing is, sorry, Steve, just to quickly finish what I was saying in regards to reading the book. I didn't read it. After I read it, I realized how bad Rebels actually was.
yeah, it's really bad.
After reading which book? The newest one?
No,
Where's the shirt?
the Thrawn trilogy, not the newest Thrawn trilogy. I've actually read them both, and the Thrawn trilogy, the second one that
Crawls on the bed.
it's just that's bad in comparison as well.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're
He
gonna
is
put
one of the
Thrawn-
coolest characters.
But you're going to put him in a universe where they're writing
G'day,
very
Sam.
simple video game plots. Like, what is Thrawn's master scheme going to be?
Yeah,
With this
he's
writing
like
team?
he's like film worthy. Just how much he impacted events throughout the galaxy.
Sorry, Jeff, can you bring
He's
up
a
Shock
master
T?
tactician. And
Yeah.
Shock T? Yeah, I can do
Yeah,
that.
can you just bring up a picture for me?
Yes, I can do
He's
that.
See,
not a
one of my
master.
theories is, because we heard some rumors a few months ago, and just rumors, that they're going to try to get rid of the Disney trilogy. So what if they're going to try to shoehorn in their version of the Zahn trilogy into this timeline?
If they can get Zahn to as an executive producer or to co-write the scripts, that would definitely, I would definitely be on board with that if he was involved, for sure, with the writing.
Yeah.
Well, and
well,
just
the
to
thing
answer
is,
this for Jonathan, no. Read the original Thrawn trilogy if you do want good Thrawn. Like, honest, that is one thing that I will agree with the EU guys on, that they definitely destroyed him.
The second one was a commercial for Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah, and the third one,
yeah.
they tried to link in with the Rebels series when he leaves the planet so that they can beat him.
Well, because that's interesting, because Zahn wrote those ones too.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
did. Yep.
And they were like, Tim's done a video on that actually. He hates Timothy Zahn after doing that. He basically bent the knee and said, "All right."
Oh, and then he said Lucas didn't handle Revenge of the Sith right, and like as soon as he got a job, he just started talking a bunch of shit and stuff.
Thank you, dude.
Yeah, but if they start using the classic Thrawn in a movie, right?
Yeah.
They have a continuity issue right there because he is in Rebels quite retarded. So where did his IQ boost come from? Because he does nothing but fail all through Rebels. You know,
Chris, I don't really know.
Very stupid means.
I just want to say, in regards to just this thing, George Lucas coming out and saying like Maul was going to be in his sequel, I think that was something from a long time ago.
It was.
I really do.
Yeah.
A long time ago, it changed. It was never going to be that. His treatments weren't that.
No, it's from a video game that got canceled by Disney. It was going to feature a descendant of Maul plus Darth Talon.
Oh,
And that's where the whole plot thing came from. It had nothing to do with George.
I love every female Sith on Darth Creed's team. Good grief.
Oh, yeah.
They're all awesome.
Okay, so let's just, keep moving here because we've got a long way to go. Thank you. Actually, let me just show that quickly. Shakti, like huge Montrolls.
Yep.
Massive.
Is this from the deleted scene?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the same makeup though from the movie.
She had 4 deaths in.
Yeah, she did.
She had heaps.
Poor Shakti.
Poor
know,
Shakti.
They really like killing her off.
This is from the General Grievous death.
They even tried to bring her back in Rebels. They thought that she was still alive. They were using her anyway.
Well, they brought back what was it, Evan Piel? He was dead after episode 1, and Filoni brought him back in the Clone Wars. Didn't know he was dead.
Nope.
Oh, that's the little guy that looks like
Thank you, Jeff.
Yoda, sort of. Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, Yoda with a scar.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's keep moving here. So Ahsoka basically says you've got a day to surrender. I'll give you a day, right, to think about surrendering. So the Mandalorian, I saw somebody in the chat ask this, did the Mandalorian show up to this planet before or after that opening scene? It was definitely after he shows up. The ship flies over. Sorry, Elaine, what were you going to say?
I forgot, it just occurred to me, like, details are coming back. Did they send out a signal for help? And that's why they weren't surprised when he came? Or, I mean, for a hunter or something? They said put the signal out or something? Is that what happened?
I don't know exactly why. No, they didn't put out, as far as I know, they didn't put out any signal or anything. He just showed up there because he knew that Ahsoka was there. Okay. And he goes into the town just to...
Yeah, turn on subtitles and go to that
descriptive
scene.
Which scene? This one?
Like when they're at the very beginning after she cleans house and then she's like, I'm coming back tomorrow. That magistrate is up on the tower with the guys, and that's where she might drop that line about send out a signal for hunters or whatever. Yeah.
Alright, hold on.
But while you're doing that, I want to talk about this Beskar staff in a minute.
Add it to inventory.
Yeah. Probably a little bit further ahead.
I think she talks to her Michael Bain. Yeah, this one.
This bit?
A little bit back. Hit the 10-second back one. Let's see what she says. At least we can explain that.
Look how she just fades into there. Like, that did look awesome. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
I have no problem with that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, we'll be ready. Why?
Sorry, I'm just going to pause it for a second.
Yeah.
Just
No, yeah,
because
go ahead.
the motion as well. Like, I understand that we don't have sound, which helps, I think, but...
Well, maybe you can assume that's why they'll be ready, because...
Guy speaking alien language.
I know, right? Yep, no.
He looks pretty good, Michael Bain. I wasn't sure how he would factor into this series.
That's it.
I was like, is he
Okay.
going to be like
All right.
specific to be, some character? Like, nope, he fucking dies. It's just like Ming Na Wen in episode 5 for the first season. I thought she was going to be significant. Yeah, she's died. She's just there because she wants to be in Star Wars. And Michael Bain, man, he goes out like a fucking bitch.
Was that Ahsoka or Batman? Fading into the mist.
Yeah, that was fine.
That's funny.
Yeah,
So-
so
Ah,
Did she
hail
say
19K
Cajun?
Fox.
Cage him, that's what it was. I thought she said like page him or something. I don't know.
Okay.
No, that's
So no,
fine.
Mando shows
19K. Go and watch it. It's not a bad episode. There are issues, of course, I think, with every episode, but go and watch it anyway. It's not
Yeah,
bad.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. It's
And
it's
hey,
worthy of
thanks
being
for coming
seen.
by.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
Okay, so he rolls into town. He flies in, rolls into town. I did find one thing really weird, though. Hold on a second. I just need to go back. Okay, here. He literally walks away from his ship without closing.
Yeah, I was going to mention that.
I'm
Like,
sorry,
dude,
like it was he like
you
look,
have an
okay,
issue
the
with
ramp-
ships. I mean,
The ramp is down now. Like, I'm sorry, he literally walks away here,
yeah.
and like I was expecting it after he started walking
To start
for it
going
go
up. Yeah, yeah.
and
Me
it
too.
just doesn't the whole time. He's just like, okay, I'm gonna leave my ship wide open.
Your
for
ship's
anyone
been
to come
destroyed
by.
4 or 5 times, dude. It's like,
I
Shut
did
it.
notice that. I know these are nitpicks, but I'm sorry. With everything that they've done, I have to sit there and go, come on, guys. That's something basic.
Mm-hmm.
That's something simple that you're just ignoring it.
yeah.
It's not hard to make the ramp actually look like it's going up.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was something I saw.
You know, Dave Filoni would be a perfect writer for side quests in Skyrim.
I mean, well, this is what the Clone Wars was basically, and that's what this show feels like. It feels like a live-action animated
Animation. Yeah, it does.
series.
Definitely does. But the
So,
thing is
yeah.
Clone Wars was more intelligent than even this.
I
Like-
think it is odd that it's live action and still getting those same vibes. It's like I don't know how to really think of it, and it's only 8 episodes, and it's an odd kind of setup here.
Well, I think a lot of that feeling, and we've talked about this every week, there's not a lot of, what's the term I'm looking for? Like dialogue that is really meaningful. It's a lot of just like, hey, do this, hey, do that, I need this, you have this, let's fight. There's not like, man, they passed up an opportunity for a longer conversation with Bo-Katan's crew in the bar. Last episode, hey, go back and talk to Kara and Grief, you know, like, have like a 5-minute like character conversation. And I think when you take that out, that's when it starts to feel a little bit more childlike in my mind. So I want to see character interaction and
we just
and
killed
good
any
scenes and
chance of
stuff.
Lethal even trying to watch it, because
Well-
if it's anything like TCW, there's no chance of him watching it.
Well, the last few of episodes of the last season of Clone Wars
Later,
was
Pastor
pretty
Jane.
good, especially with Ahsoka's character, and it really tugged emotionally. Really, I know I teared up at one point, but I did like the dialogue here with her character. We got to learn a lot, and those moments I think are becoming much more, because like you were saying, there isn't much dialogue as far as between the characters themselves and the plot moving forward. So I thought that was a nice moment, but they should definitely have more of those, because that's where the story really shines, the dialogue really shines, and the writing. When we get to know what's going on in this universe, I just think they're trying to find out where to go, where they are in this canon, that they don't really know what they're doing, and I feel like they're trying to get there, but it's slow, and they're not really well versed in this. But I don't know. I think it's a step in the right direction slowly, but hopefully it will continue, and we won't get so many backdoor pilots or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it definitely does feel like that though with the backdoor pilots.
It does. It does, man.
I just want to say, Pastor G, thanks for coming by. Have a blessed day yourself, and thank you for coming past. And hail to you.
I'll take 2 fat pancakes, butter only, Pastor. Thank you.
Okay, so he rolls into town. No one's talking to him. Everyone just walks away as soon as he starts talking to them. And it's because no one's allowed to talk to anyone. The guards come by and they take him to, again, I can't even remember what I was supposed to call her, the bitch.
The magistrate.
The magistrate.
Magistrate.
I did like the brutality though, as we saw entering in,
like
and then the scene opens up. Like, wow,
the torture.
Mm-hmm.
These electric torture chambers. So there was a few people in there. Okay, so they meet each other for the first time. What did everyone think of this scene? Discuss.
Well, let me ask you guys this on Beskar. Like, is it that plentiful, or is it just a plot contrivance that it always shows up wherever Din Djarin goes? It just seems like it's there.
I'm not sure how plentiful it is. I don't know. I know it seems pretty rare.
I wonder if they harvest it from this planet. I wonder.
See,
if
that would have been a
good
good reason for them to be there, right? Like,
That's a possibility.
It still would have been a coincidence that he's there, but even so.
Well, they can't harvest Beskar from anywhere other than Mandalore because that's the only place you can find Beskar.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Is that-
Because I'm not a Clone Wars guy, so I.
But isn't that the case in the EU?
I thought that was in the EU.
I
too.
didn't read Travis's novels yet either because I stopped around 2008 or 9, and I'm just now picking up everything that came out.
Well,
Come on, someone in the chat knows. Stig.
If they kill a Mandalorian, right, and take his armor, they can melt it and make a staff.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yep.
But then, like, everyone was saying, like, this would be a good explanation for why they're on the planet because they're harvesting Beskar.
But there is no Beskar.
But there is no Beskar because, again, as
gotcha.
far as I know, there was only Beskar on Mandalore.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't know where she
That's
got
what
it.
makes it so rare, isn't it?
There's no Beskar
Come on,
on
surely
Mandalore.
there's someone in the chat that knows this. You know, if it is, I know it is the case at least in Disney's canon.
They even stressed it in season 1 that it's extremely rare.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they did.
And it came from the Great Purge.
Yeah, so if it's extremely rare, they can't do a 180 and have every other character have Beskar stuff, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's been 2 characters already in this season that has had Beskar.
Stopped around 2008.
In this season, are you killing the Mandalorian?
Yeah, this season. The sheriff had Beskar.
Oh,
armor.
his was Beskar?
Yeah, it's Boba Fett's.
I thought it was Durasteel.
No, Boba Fett had a Beskar one.
Give me 1 second, guys. I'll be right back.
It's just painted or.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. After I read Legacy of the Force, I'm gonna read all the Travis novels, and then I'll read.
No, not yet. She's looking for
Fate of the
Thrawn.
Jedi.
Jade, Mara, she's looking for Thrawn. That's what
Yeah.
it comes down to. This
Which,
chick on screen's leader or master is Grand Admiral Thrawn, none other.
So why not just use the farm to find
So,
Ezra or Thrawn?
True. Don't bring up tracking fobs. You get Blake started in the chat. So
Anyway, thanks for clearing that up because I just wondered why do we see Beskar all the time? So.
Well, it only seems it's like who was it that just said it now? Was it Greg? I can't remember. One of you said it. Everywhere he comes along, maybe it was you, Tim. There seems to be Beskar. It just seems to be convenient that his payment is Beskar.
Mm-hmm.
I still think they could have had found a vein of it on another planet. Just because they haven't up to this date doesn't mean that an element can't exist. I mean, think about it. An element in nature only exists on one planet in the entire universe. It's only on Mandalore until they write that it's not.
Well, think about the crystals, for the Death Star. They're really plentiful on Elam, but they could be conceivably anywhere. So,
I'm back.
Okay, so she asks for his help. It was so funny. When he was landing on the planet, I'm like, okay, this is going to go one of two ways. He's either going to bump into Ahsoka first, and she's going to ask for his help to defeat them, or he's going to bump into these guys first, and they're going to ask for his help to beat her. And it was so funny because it ended up both ways. We got both results. She helps these guys, and then she goes and helps Ahsoka. So I thought that was quite funny. But
it's a video game, so it depends on who you run into first, whether it's the Stormcloaks or the Imperials.
It is like that. It is like that. And yes, she's a Nazi. All right.
These droids look interesting. Her war droids. I don't know if we know the exact.
Oh, those
They're
piss me off.
HKs
They
They are.
me off so
from
bad.
4,000 years
HK-87s.
before. Yeah.
Yeah. HK-87s, not 47s.
Oh, 47. I thought they said 47. My bad.
HK-87. It still
Okay.
pissed me off
Okay.
how easily they got fucking taken out. That's not an HK droid.
HK-47.
Yeah,
HK
Yeah, they don't
heavily
look
as
like
shit.
they're like in tip top.
They look
shape.
like it looks like the HK-87 is a backwards model. Like it went backwards in developing it because HK-47 looks more advanced than that thing does. Look how it walks. It's really fucking
Yeah.
stiff.
Yeah, it is really stiff
It looks
and really
bad.
it looks like a
No.
protocol droid.
Celestial
Yeah,
Epic
this
says
is-
47. It's not. It was HK-87. I had the.
This is the second or
Okay.
third time they ripped off the Old Republic games this season.
Yeah, it is. I've
No
heard
source
that.
material,
I haven't
right?
played the Old Republic games, but
Well, those aren't technically canon, so they probably right. Video games, really, in general,
Yeah,
aren't.
yeah, but they said
they're
they
part of
didn't have
C
any
canon,
source
weren't they?
material at all. So
They
Yeah.
were part of the original the
appropriation.
EU canon.
they were.
EU canon.
I mean, because obviously the way the Force powers that we have, the Force healing and certain things, wasn't really how the.
It was just the
Personally
storyline
work.
that was. Yeah.
But there's
Yeah.
some great stories in there.
The Windows
Yeah.
98 of droids. Yeah,
That's exactly
right.
what it was, man. Yeah.
Okay, so I have to show this
You
because
should have said meatbag.
I'm sorry, the way that this chick moved with this stuff, I was kind of laughing to myself. It was like, I don't know, there might have been people out there that liked it and enjoyed seeing this, but like, just,
That's
the
our
way she
culture,
presents
you
it.
fucking racist.
is it? I'm a Nazi. Like she's like.
That's how you do. That's how you present.
She's
the staff,
presenting
dude.
it.
Yeah.
You don't
know,
like
like
giving them pointy end.
I get that they're trying to go for this real samurai feel here.
That's how you present. That's how you present.
You know
yeah.
what it looks like?
That's what she said.
She looks like Nancy Pelosi when she handed over the pen after the impeachment trial.
Jesus.
That gold pen.
We're going to have to use that tonight, Greg.
Yeah.
Yeah. It did. You covered.
Sneak.
Well, can I just say what a stupid use of Beskar? A staff with that has it's a spear.
Yeah.
It's a spear. Yeah. It's basically
It's got one threatening.
I guarantee
tiny
you, it's an
little tip.
old school spear. It's probably nothing new.
And if you were going to fight with it against lightsabers, have some perpendicular protrusions, for blocking, almost like cross guards or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's really not a good weapon.
Well, there's no lightsabers about anyway, except for Ahsoka.
Yep. There
So-
it is. HK-87. I was right.
Okay.
And Magistrate Morgan Elsbeth. That's her name.
Elspeth.
Cool name though.
Awesome.
I thought
Yeah,
it was
no.
Mercedes Martinez at first. She's an MMA fighter.
Oh, I thought that was a porn star name.
No. No.
Sorry, just kidding.
I wouldn't watch
So,
that.
okay, she offers the spear to him as payment for going to kill a Jedi. He says that it's very hard and,
It's expensive, basically. You can't afford it.
yeah. But she goes, that's what you were made for because everybody out there believes or knows that the Jedi and the Mandalorians are mortal enemies.
They are. They fought side by side in the Clone Wars and Rebels.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
I
I
was gonna
know. It's so weird. It's
They
so
were on the
funny
same
how
side.
they can't keep anything really straight.
I mean,
like
Filoni wrote that.
Well, there were
In
two
Rebels
different
and the Clone
sects of
Wars.
the Mandalorian. Some were with the Jedi, and the others
No,
were
this
not.
is like though going okay. What? The United States and Great Britain teamed up on the war effort, but they're mortal enemies. And you're referring back to the Revolutionary War. It's like, but
Yeah.
time has passed. Like,
And
so if you're going to go back to the time period where Mandalorians and Jedi were
Enemy of my
were
enemy,
rivals and
like that.
enemies, that's way long ago. they've since been working together. Like, just because you're enemies at some point, anytime in the history of the galaxy, doesn't make you permanent.
Yeah,
enemies.
they've
What are you
been
talking
allies
about?
as
Britain
well.
is still our enemy.
Yeah, that's right.
They've been
What's up, Will?
allies at least twice since then.
Right,
You know?
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, my coffee's wearing off big time. All right.
I already finished my cup. And
That was my second one. I think I might need to go make another one.
What
All
time
right,
is it
'cause
for you over there, Rhino?
It's now nearly 1:30
Damn.
in the morning.
Oh,
Jeez.
It's all right. We'll do all right. I'll get to sleep in tomorrow, so it's all good. We'll try and stay up as long as possible, huh?
I'll probably have to head out here in a few minutes, just so you know.
No worries. Well, let me know. Do you need to go now, or you can hang out for a bit longer?
Yeah, a few more minutes, yeah.
All right, cool.
Is there anything
right.
you want to talk about, Elaine? Like that
Yeah,
we
is
haven't
there-
covered?
Before you go?
That's true. Before
Yeah.
you do go, is there anything specific?
I think just the bigger elements with Ahsoka and Grogu and that whole interchange. I did like how it was presented. I like the time that they took for this in this episode. I felt like it required it. I'm very intrigued by what will happen next, especially since they'll be going to Tython, which I'm super excited about. Just that as an element, but just very intrigued about the child and his attachment. That they brought that up as well. It was a very nice moment, I think, with Ahsoka and the child. It really dug deeper into this, and those are more of that. I want more of that. Where it's part of this larger story, and this explanation of the Force was really nice. And so, yeah, I just hope that this is a good sign moving forward, because right now, and the whole aesthetic of this episode was really interesting, I thought. And I like the shootout between Michael Biehn and the Mandalorian at that point. Yeah, so overall, I liked it, and I hope that it's a good sign moving forward. And, of course, I think we have 3 more episodes left.
Yep. 6, 7, 8. Yeah.
Yeah, and again, we have no more images left of the trailer, so, yeah.
Yep.
This was all new, too, this planet and everything. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Mara,
They do
Mara
bring it
is
up.
upset in the chat.
Yeah, Mara's not happy. Mara's not happy. But yeah, I agree with you with that bit of the episode as well, Elaine. It was really good. I liked what Ahsoka did with the child, and then with Grogu. And then obviously had to use Mando with his connection. And, the ball thing was kind of, I didn't really see where they were going at the beginning, but as soon as this bit came up and Ahsoka said, you need to find a connection, I immediately went, he's got the ball in his pocket. He's going to pull that out because he threw the rock away. But yeah.
It was interesting, too. It hasn't used the Force yet, except in this episode of this season. So I wonder if that's kind of playing into it.
Well, he stole the
He
cookies.
stole the cookies last
You should
episode.
remember
Oh,
that.
yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, the cookies. but as far as,
He stole the nerd
I guess that was
cookies.
the only thing. Yeah. But it's funny, though, because it hasn't been a big thing in this season. And last season, it was
Everywhere.
pretty big thing. So that's one of the things I wanted too, though, not to have that not be such a big thing of his Force powers.
How did you feel about the explanation for why he can use the Force, coming out of Coruscant and being a part of,
Yeah, there's just some things I'm not. Obviously, the canon is kind of odd to begin with. I don't know. There's some things that just don't add up at this point, but it's just we don't really know. I don't know, unless they tell us, unless they flesh that out really in a story. Which I would like. I would like to know more of that information, how they can present it in an interesting way, and through other means, maybe comics or in the series later. But it's intriguing. I just would like to know more, more of an explanation of what actually happened. I don't know, in his life. I don't know if they're going to flesh out those details, but
I don't think they're going to. I think this was just their way of, here's the couple lines of dialogue to excuse what we've seen so far, and now drop it, and they'll just move forward.
Yeah.
I don't see them going back and to detail okay, who the hell snuck him out of the Jedi Temple?
yeah.
Is there yet another Jedi that we don't know about that survived? Like, how is that possible?
And as canon surrounding Ahsoka too is very muddled, and it was always odd to me too. Like okay, she's around at the same time Luke is around. It's just there's just so many questions.
Yeah.
No, the problems happen when you retroactively stuff a character that is important into a story the character was not originally in.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah,
how
there's
you
just
get
no
continuity
way
issues big time.
to justify it.
And I wish they would have just fleshed it out more with these series before they stepped into larger canon altering and timeline altering events, like they did with the films, and because now it's just that's what will always have to be the end until if they create like this multiverse thing, which I don't think they're going to do, but there are indications that they are if they're not following even their own canon.
Yeah,
So-
it's weird though because they did promise the fans that this new continuity would be there would be perfect synergy between comics, TV shows, and movies and all that.
They've
And
screwed that big time.
Yeah.
everything would be just as canon. So one comic would be just as canon as the movies, right? But
Well, how Boba Fett's armor got found is completely different to how it got found in
yeah,
the Aftermath trilogy.
yeah, and
I
Leia
hate
refused to
talking
be
about that
trained
book.
as a Jedi. She refused all the training, and then Episode 9 happens, and oh, she had training. You just told us she didn't.
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, it's all very muddled right now, and I hope that they can find someone, hopefully, to head Lucasfilm that knows the universe well.
Mara's having a fit in the chat right now.
She's right,
she's
though.
not happy.
I mean,
no, you're
mean,
right. She is.
Well,
Baby
she
Yoda-
communicated with him through the Force.
Yeah.
but
It wasn't
Baby
like
Yoda
verbal.
Baby Yoda is a toddler, and he knows how to heal people. That's a very high level force ability that it requires an insane amount of training.
Well, and
Yeah, I
like
agree.
Ryan Kinnell points out, like supposedly in Disney continuity, you have to be part of a dyad to force heal. So are they going
Correct.
to do that?
Well, I said this in my review too. Like Baby Yoda, Grogu,
Grogu.
Grogu. I don't fucking know.
Well,
Grogu.
Well,
Okay.
Ben Kenobi heals Luke, and he's not a force dyad. He heals Luke in Episode 4. Puts his hand on his
Force
forehead.
Doodad.
But that's
Yeah.
different, isn't it?
Well, it's not the same kind of Force
That's not the
healing.
same
Bumped
as
on
like
you could get,
feeling,
run through with a lightsaber.
Like smelling salts kind of
healing
in a way.
complete
Yeah.
lightsaber
Dermal
thing
regeneration.
and healing what's his name arm who's been bitten by a poison animal that's going to kill him in minutes. Like it's very different to that.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, and a toddler can do that.
I know the Force
doesn't even
healing
know-
has broken Star Wars.
It
Really.
Yeah,
has.
doesn't even know it.
But
It kind of
I
has.
did feel
yeah.
forced into it though, and of course that episode was right before the Rise of Skywalker premiered, so it definitely felt shoehorned into there. And then when we have this kind of retcon where he's not using the Force basically at all, he just used it a little bit in that last episode with the cookies, but he struggled. He struggled in this one. He didn't really feel that connection, and it was only his attachment, I guess, that he was focusing on. So
That's
yeah, it does
funny.
feel a bit retconning that as well. So
Spade Gremlin.
well, I probably have to get going here. I'm sorry. I'd love to
No.
stay in chat. I'll probably
Thank you
stay.
for coming by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I can stay in the chat some, I have to get ready and do that. So I'll probably stick around.
Have a
Awesome.
Oh, we'll put
Have a
your link in
splendid
there
day,
later.
Alan.
Yep.
Thank you.
Have
It's
a
nice to
great
talk
day.
with you guys.
You
Yeah,
You
thank you
too.
for coming by.
You too.
What do you got coming up? You got anything you want to plug? Anything you want to let the people
Sure.
know?
Well, yeah, if you want to check out my channel, Nerd Cookies, and you can also follow me on Twitter at Nerd Cookies, and I cover sci-fi and fantasy content, mostly surrounding like upcoming projects. And I will be having a live stream to talk about this episode as well, Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern. So if you want to stop by there as well, yeah, that's it.
Awesome.
Thank
Everyone
you.
go and subscribe to Nerd Cookies. She's got awesome content. She also does like Lord of the Rings and Dune, and
Dune and
there's
Northern-
heaps of stuff that she's got going
yeah.
on. Awesome
She makes
content.
great videos.
Link
Aw,
is in the
thanks.
comments.
Oh,
Thank
well, thank
you.
you guys.
And thank you for coming by. Appreciate
Thanks. I love talking with you guys. And of course, obviously, we don't agree on everything, but I really like that interchange.
That's the
and-
best
We don't
part.
agree with each
Exactly.
other
I
either.
love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
because we don't have that echo
it's
chamber
true.
too. It's
Exactly.
refreshing, and
I love it.
So I enjoy y'all's takes. All right.
You
All right.
can't have a you can't have a discussion without an opposition.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right. That's why I love it. Yeah.
All right.
Speaking
Y'all
of
take
my
care.
Twitter
I'll see you
bio.
later.
2020. See
See
ya.
Have a good one.
you, Elaine.
Bye.
Bye. That's funny. All right.
I'm glad you got to come on. That's awesome.
Lethal, you're
Yeah,
funny.
it was good to have her on. Again, I wanted to have her on because from 2 episodes ago, she was in the chat and she enjoyed the episode, and I think that a lot of us didn't really. Well, we had our disagreements, and I kind of want that. Like, I want to see the
me
points
too.
of view from everyone. I've got my issues with it that are different to other people's issues with it, and I don't think there's really anything wrong with that. One thing that is wrong is that Star Wars is wrong right now. Still, they haven't fixed anything through the Mandalorian, is how I see it.
I don't mind when other people are wrong.
Thank you, Stig.
Well said, Steve.
But we're coming up on this scene I want to talk about. Are you going to keep going? Are you getting tired? Or?
No, I'm good to keep going for a
Okay,
bit. Like
okay.
we'll jump a bit. We'll jump forward a bit. So he obviously goes off to find Ahsoka. I think. Let's just get to here. So this is the other thing. Ahsoka. I'm sorry. If Ahsoka was completely light side, she wouldn't just attack him like this.
Mm-hmm.
Out of nowhere, comes up behind him and actually attacks him. Again, it makes me think that she's dabbling dark side, and maybe that's why she can't train the thing. But
Or she's just a bitch because she randomly attacks. She ambushes a dude in the forest who's with a baby.
yeah. Now, this is the other thing too that I actually wanted to ask. What's the deal in regards to Beskar Steel deflecting lightsabers? Is that a thing?
Yeah, we knew that.
Well, we knew Frick
That's cool.
does.
I know blasters, but I didn't. Who does?
Well, the lightsabers
metal.
are basically plasma.
Mm-hmm.
So and so are blaster bolts.
Yeah.
Yeah, my understanding is that Beskar didn't make you invulnerable to him, but it
there's just a
seriously
bit coming
impeded.
up where she's like pushing down, like this bit.
Look at this dumb. You're dual wielding lightsabers, and that's the attack. You might as well tape your lightsabers together at the hilt.
Yeah, do the flip lightsaber, but keep it folded.
Yeah, why?
Yeah.
What a dumb attack.
Dummy.
But like, she holds these sabers on there for ages. There,
Yeah.
I didn't
Flame
think
to
that
the
that'd be
crotch.
that impenetrable to lightsabers. I understand
Penetrate.
blaster
You said
bolts,
penetrate.
but I don't know.
It's not impenetrable. It's supposed to be resistant.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's
that's
holding
my
them down
understanding of it.
for ages on there.
Yeah.
If you can melt Beskar in a forge, a lightsaber should melt it too over time.
It should do at least some damage to it. Like, it should be resistant, but not resistant to lightsaber attacks, but not invincible to lightsaber attacks.
Yeah, in the EU, Frick was resistant to lightsabers, and that's what those Magna Guards used on their staffs and stuff like that. They actually used it in the movies. They didn't name it in the movies, obviously, but the novelization and all that.
Yes.
But
Yeah,
it's
she's not-
PHRIK.
Chris, she's no longer a Jedi, but I still think that based on what she knows about the dark side and what it can do to people, she wouldn't even go anywhere near the dark side. She would make sure that she kept herself on the light.
Again, she says she does not want Baby Yoda to be trained, or grogu
Mara,
to be trained,
Jade.
specifically because she is worried he might turn dark side. So she's clearly still aligned with the light side of the Force, or supposed to be. Now, she's not practicing it very well, and this choreographing in this fight is not very good. It's not. This part is better than later in the episode, but
Speaking of falling to the dark side, Jade Shadow in the chat is getting
going to the
closer and
dark side.
closer.
Oh, she's going to the dark side. I was.
Super close.
She is losing her mind in there.
Oh, one other thing.
Mara, do you want to come on and start yelling and screaming about
Yeah,
it? By all means. Oi,
Yeah.
Jeff or Greg, someone, can you just shoot her the link, please?
Yeah. Hashtag unleash Mara.
Feel free to come on if you want.
One
I know
other
that
thing
you
before I
haven't watched
forget.
it, but you're pretty much watching it through here anyway, so you may as well come on and yell and scream on here. It's called Casual Rage for a reason.
Exactly. Except it's not so casual. Did
not
you
so
notice
casual.
that Morgan had the Ray buns?
Who did?
Morgan?
Oh, the
She had the Ray buns.
the
Yeah.
leader bitch.
I don't care.
The one that I keep forgetting. The one that I don't care about.
It's like people pointing it out in the last episode. One of the kids in the class.
She's
had fucking
racist.
Ray-Buns. Who cares? It's just a fucking hairstyle.
She's a
So,
No,
man,
nice-
they're just trying to
Tim,
make that
much as
character
they
more
can.
relevant. I
And
mean,
it's not gonna work. Nobody gives a shit about Ray.
Lord Vader.
Nobody
My
cares
my
about that
original
bitch.
thoughts, if you missed the beginning, was it started off strong. It ended poorly for me. It was a good episode to watch. It was fun to watch. But when you really start to step back and actually start asking questions and looking at certain aspects of it, it falls apart.
Just
And
like
that's-
the last episode for me.
It really is, and that's what this is. It's live action animation. It's live action cartoon.
and storytelling. Yeah.
And storytelling. It's definitely made for kids. They're making it for kids. It was never this stupid. I can't think of a better word. It was never this dumb. It was always. I know everyone always has the thing about Star Trek. Star Trek, you know, what's more intelligent? Star Trek, Star Wars, whatever. Star Wars was never this dumb. You know, again, something as simple as him leaving his ship wide open for anyone walking past to just go in there. And I mean, he's had his ship ripped apart by Jawas. He's had his ship destroyed under his own hand from collapsing, like so many times, and he just leaves the door open. I mean, I'm sorry, I can't suspend my disbelief
It's just-
enough that this character is that stupid that he would do that.
Yeah,
It's just
but
simplistic
you know,
storytelling
all of them are
and
dumb,
very,
though.
very surface level storytelling. And in order to drive the plot, when you do this kind of storytelling, this kind of writing, is you have to have characters do things that don't make sense or act out of character just to advance the plot forward.
Yes. Yeah.
It's just this needs to happen, so it just does.
And
No,
I'd
it's
say
one of the better episodes.
it's a pretty violent episode, you know, and all of these episodes have quite a bit of violence. So I'd say, depending on maturity level and all that, I feel like the target audience is anywhere from, let's say, 10 to 16. I mean, you know, I watched stuff like more violent than this when I was 10,
Yeah.
but it's just the storytelling itself. It's literally like watching, you know, He-Man or Thundercats. That's the type of storytelling you're getting. You probably got more in those shows, actually. So,
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
worst
if you-
episodes. The worst episodes for me, Lord Vader, is episode 1 and episode 2. Episode 2 is worse than episode 1 of this season.
This season, episode
But-
2 of this season was the worst thing they had.
The worst.
that one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Frog Ladies, yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's the
bad.
worst episode.
In season 1, though, you know, when they're on that forest planet and they're helping the village fend for themselves, which is something every sci-fi show has done.
Not Endor, yeah.
Yeah, and then
This is
then
not
Cara
Naboo in this
Cara Dune, a veteran of the Endor battle, tells the Mandalorian, "There's nothing on this planet that can do harm to an ATSD," and it has trees. The Ewoks use trees to do that. Lumber. It's the only thing we've seen destroy ATSDs in the movies. Actually, lumber.
Mm-hmm.
And
Which-
yeah,
And they're surrounded by trees.
Was she
Yeah.
on Endor
Set
as
up.
a soldier? Has that been revealed?
yeah, she was part of the.
Oh gosh.
Yeah,
Shock trooper.
yeah,
She's a shock trooper.
She shot her.
yeah.
She went down to Endor to
Yeah, she
clean
is
up
shock
after the original battle.
So
Yeah,
she
which-
saw.
She would have been debriefed as well how they won the battle, which is common. Yeah, the
Yeah.
Ewok
Just quickly,
outpost.
Tim, which
It-
bit did you actually want to get to talk about?
Well, the part where she explains Grogu's past. That's
Okay.
I have some big problems
All
with
right,
this.
let's skip
So-
forward because I got to run to the bathroom. But
Okay.
Din Djarin or the Mando stops her from attacking him which again is out of character for Ahsoka in my eyes. And basically says, Ahsoka, Bo-Katan sent me, and I need your help with the child. She then, oh no, he doesn't even say the child. She goes, I hope it's that, because she sees him, sees the child over his shoulder. And of course, that's why they're there. They go through, and again, I didn't really mind this bit here, this scene, where they're sort of just sitting opposite each other. Yeah, go on.
If she has seen that one during the Clone Wars, right?
Yeah.
If she's seen Baby Yoda and recognizes him?
Absolutely no.
Why doesn't she question the fact that he hasn't aged at all in 30 years?
Sorry, give me that again.
Baby Yoda hasn't aged since the Clone Wars, since she last saw him. Why doesn't she question that?
Well, I don't know if she...
It's been 30 years.
50 years old.
But hang on, that's the other thing too is... so do they know each other prior to this? Like, obviously, when the Jedi Temple... Like, would they have crossed paths earlier?
I don't know.
If she knew,
like back in the times of the Clone Wars?
I don't know.
Because they were both in the
of
temple.
Jedi.
They would have been both in the temple at the same time.
Yeah, he was a youngling in with the youngling.
But Ahsoka says to Mando that she's only ever seen one other one before. So and then obviously through this mind teleportation, sorry, not teleportation, telepathy, Baby Yoda, sorry, Grogu tells Ahsoka what happened to him. So they haven't crossed paths, but yet that's another little thing. Like, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, and how did she not see him, though, if he was at the temple at the same time she was? She would have trained near him. Weren't that many younglings.
I don't know how you train Baby Yoda or Grogu in the first place. He's like a fucking toddler. Like,
yeah.
What do you train? Like, he's not even youngling status at this point yet. Like,
no.
He's a
They
toddler.
take him. How young do they start training?
So that's.
Like,
do you have to go to the
after
bathroom,
birth,
Rhino?
right?
I do.
No,
continue. I'll be back.
3 if you want to use that as an
Sorry.
example.
Yeah, so we're getting to what my problems are here, but first off, I want to say something else.
If you want, you can move forward. You can move forward.
Okay. I want to say something else, though. Like, before the fight occurs with Ahsoka, he just takes Grogu and sets him on the rock, like, I'm going to set you right here. It was, like, so contrived. And then the attack happens. It's like, the way he worded it, it's almost like Pascal thought it was bad dialogue, and he was just kind of delivering it because he had to. He's like, I'm going to put you here. And then attack. It was just...
Yeah, I'm going to put you out of harm's way.
I knew that was going to happen.
Piece of shit.
Yes. But here's the thing. Here's what this whole scene was, where she does the telepathy or communication with him and then explains it to Din, or to Dim, I guess we should say.
Dumb Jaron.
Yeah, exactly. So it was almost like Filoni and his consultants sat down and said, okay, we have a problem here. You know, the fans out there, they're making a lot of good points. We have to, like, come up with an explanation in this scene. This was not planned out. Come on. Like, last season, you know that the intent wasn't for him to have been spirited away from
this is artificially
Academy.
writing backstory to justify legitimate concerns regarding a character.
Yeah, I mean, because is he the only Jedi that escaped? Someone made that point earlier. Like, who is the one that spirited him away? And who else is out there? We know that even in the EU there were some stragglers that survived here and there, but, like, where is that person? Did they just dump him off somewhere? And how did he wind up where he was in the very first episode of this series? Maybe they're going to explain that, maybe not. But that scene didn't do anything to advance that. It was there to just supposedly address our quote-unquote nitpicks. And it really didn't do that good of a job of it. I think it created more questions. And they're digging this hole deeper and deeper and deeper.
Yeah, but Dave Filoni did the same thing with Darth Maul. The only explanation we got was he was angry when he got chopped in half.
Yeah.
I mean, Count Dookie was probably angry too. So
there's
will his floating head show up?
Hey Mara, how you doing?
My ass off If they did
Oh
that
my
would be funny.
god!
Are you dying? Are you turning to the dark side? Are you?
Hi,
Oh,
Laura.
I want to
See
get
ya.
I want to get back on Call of Duty just to shoot some commies now. That's all.
Oh, you toxic female. Yes. So
But
you're
you know what I
enjoying
mean? They're not
you're
doing
enjoying
anything
all-
to resolve all these complaints. They're just making it worse by creating more questions.
Mhm.
And it's like they're
Yeah.
so, what's the term I'm looking for? They're so out of touch with
Incompetent?
what they're doing. Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
guys, you know, you're not coming up with good explanations. You shouldn't have put yourself in this to begin with, but talk to someone that actually knows what they're talking about and they can write you out of this. But they are not
Well,
capable.
not just that, like knowing the game, someone knows what they're talking about, but they don't have anyone there who's reading. It's like they're going with the first draft of whatever
Yeah.
script they have, because
Uh-huh.
there's no one there reading the first draft and going, "Wait a minute, this does not make any sense."
Yeah. Echo chamber.
Yeah, I want to know how do you train that in the Force?
That's why.
30 years before this, mind you.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
right.
mean, like, yes,
29, whatever.
yes, to Lord Vader saying that not every youngling is going to encounter each other. I get that. I know that from like basically like the Star Wars lore, but at the same time, they do in a way encounter each other because they're kind of all like whenever they're a certain age, they're all kind of clustered together,
Mhm.
and Yoda trains them. So
Yeah.
Yoda would
Yeah.
know this. Yoda would know the little baby space gremlin. Ahsoka would have at least seen it.
It makes me start thinking more and more though
Baby
about
space
like
gremlin.
Empire Strikes Back and the conversations that he has with Luke, like Yoda has with Luke. Like, and even at the end of Revenge of the Sith, when, you know, they realize that they like no Jedi survived. All the younglings in the temple got killed. I'm sorry, like it's a good explanation for why he can use abilities, but again, it sort of falls apart a little bit for me. It's just
And
I
even
don't
then,
know.
like this, is, like I don't know
retroactively
who-
changing the OT. It's
yeah, I don't know who said this, but he's not even a youngling age. Like,
Yeah.
He's a toddler.
Greg said, yeah.
he's a
Yeah.
he's a toddler. Youngling age would be like you're able. Youngling age, I would say, I would gather probably the equivalent of like say maybe starting with like first, second grade age, like
Mhm.
equivalent if like we're going off of like
Right.
real world.
So you would the
ages.
Jedi might find and separate you from your family at a very, very young toddler age, but to actually like start training
Mhm.
and actually being able to
Yeah.
do
Well, you
things.
need to
This whole
understand
thing
words
that they did
at
is like
least.
yeah, this whole thing was just to justify him being able to use the Force in any capacity. Like, how would he even know how? And basically, they just said, "Oh, well, he was at the academy. He trained." Well, okay, but like, so he's 50 years old or 51 years old if this takes place a year after season 1, right? Ahsoka Tano is how old?
how old would she be here?
I
5
think she
years
was
after Return of the
15 in
Jedi.
the movie, right?
16 in Return of the
well,
Jedi. No,
No, she was 14 at the
she's
beginning,
14.
17 by the end of the Clone
And
Wars.
that's right.
She was born 36 BBY, so in this, then she is 46.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she's
yeah,
46
well,
years
then
old.
got it.
She's only a
19.
couple years older than Yoda, so like their age difference, or baby, Grogu, whatever the fuck you want to call him, their age difference is in actual years not very significantly different.
No,
And she
that's
was brought
true.
to the Jedi Council according to Wikipedia. Here, I'm looking at the page. She was 3 years old when she was brought, but that again does not mean you immediately start training at
No.
3 years old. I would assume you have to at least be able to communicate, other than just communicate feelings and thoughts towards
Yeah,
each
'cause
other.
they basically have to
younger.
basically have to understand who's instructing them.
Yeah,
If
you
they
had
don't
that
have a
reverse
grasp of the common language or any language that they're being instructed in, then they can't train.
Yeah.
You have to
Yeah,
wait until
it's,
they
it's
have a
basically, teach the person the language before you try to teach them anatomy, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Be like, we have no common way to communicate, but let's do some algebra.
Yeah.
yeah.
So she goes over to him after he sort of just drops the rock that Ahsoka sends over to him, and she senses much fear in him. And that's when she decides that she can't train him because he's
Well,
going to
it's
turn
a-
like Anakin did. So
It's a baby. It's a baby. It's a fucking toddler meeting a stranger, and he's like, "I sense much fear in you."
Again, this is another character thing for Ahsoka, which I was like, hold on a second. You know, I don't believe that the Ahsoka character that I saw develop through the Clone Wars and even in Rebels, as much as I know that there's people even on this panel that hate the character, that think that, you know, it's horrible. Anyway, I can't believe that Ahsoka, who has had a lot to do with Children of the Force, like nearly every single one of her story arcs through the Clone Wars, not every single one, but a lot through the Clone Wars and in Rebels, has a lot to do with Children of the Force.
Well, she was fine with Ezra being trained.
Yeah.
He dabbled in. He opened a Sith holocron, man.
Yeah. She was okay with that, but you can't train a toddler.
Well, here's the thing.
I have a problem with this. I have a problem with the way Ahsoka reacted in this moment. Like, it wasn't like she should be the one going, well, I can actually put him on a better path. I know.
Right.
I'm the leader. I know these things. I've seen it. I've seen it with my own eyes with Vader. So I know what to try and do.
Well, not only that,
the whole
but like,
thing is the fact that he's even got the attachment to. Sorry, Tim, but even though he's got the attachment to Mando, I mean, Jedi aren't supposed to have attachments, right? And that's how Ahsoka was trained.
Right.
Whether or not that was right or wrong, that's how Ahsoka was trained. So technically, the fact that he's got the attachment is actually a bad thing, because he'll turn to the dark side because of the attachment.
So she says specifically that I can't train him because I sense fear and he's attached to you, and attachments are bad, and that's what happened to Anakin. She alludes to that story. The problem is, it's a fucking toddler. Where in the universe are you going to find a toddler that's not attached to their caregiver?
Yeah, and you know, she senses fear in him, and that's bad. So she sends him to stay with the Mandalorian, who's a bounty hunter who kills for money and faces death all the time. That's going to help with fear.
Yeah, and then she says, you know, his abilities will just fade.
That's not how the
that hasn't happened yet. So he's
oh my god,
choking people.
His abilities will fade.
That's what she says.
That's what she said. She said his abilities or his like
training.
Did she say the training or his she didn't say his actual abilities. His like knowledge of the abilities will fade. He'll just forget.
If that's the case, it should have happened in the last. It should have happened in the last 50 years then.
Yeah,
I agree.
And what if he keeps stealing cookies? Like, he'll keep remembering.
Yeah, I'm like saying, like even.
True. Yeah, he does steal cookies and shit.
Okay, I'm not saying I agree, basically agree with him being able to use the Force, but even if he does, like, the knowledge of him having those abilities fades, he would still act on instinct, as you saw, at least like I saw scenes from the first season. So if he acts on instinct and let's say he stops another creature, that's going to bring up, how the hell can I do this?
I mean, Rey accidentally force farted lightning.
Force sharp.
Yeah.
Baby Yoda force choked.
I do like how the Mandalorian represents Raging Rhino.
Yeah, there you go.
Mudhorn symbol. And I will say, this is one scene that I actually kind of liked, where he says, "Hey kid, lift the stone,"
Yeah.
and she goes in his ear. She basically just says his name, grogu.
Call him his name. I just told you his name.
Grogu.
Lord Vader.
Grogu.
Vader. Even though Ahsoka wasn't going to train Ezra, she basically, in a way, has what's the word I'm looking for? Like basically Kanan. Is that his name? Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks up to her. Like, basically, she has kind of like in the hierarchy, like she's like basically, I don't want to say superior to him, but he looks up to her as like, as like a mentor or something like that. So she's told Kanan or anything like that, you shouldn't train him. He probably would have listened, but she was okay with Kanan training him. So in a way, she was okay with Ezra being trained, even though she didn't herself train him.
Yep.
That's a good point.
And for her to say this about a toddler, like, yes, he has attachments, but he's a toddler. I mean, my niece has an attachment to her mom. Guess what? She's a baby. So it's like, are you gonna say like she can't be trained?
Right, exactly. Like, and again, Ahsoka was 3 years old. I'm pretty sure she had an attachment to her parents. Otherwise, like, did she hate her parents as like she was a mean little toddler? She's like, "Fuck you, mommy."
Yeah.
That's not how kids work, you know.
But it's so funny.
You would
like,
give me
she
cookies,
says-
I'm leaving.
She says how
They're attached
connections.
to the people that give them food.
She says that attachments are bad, but she says to the Mando that he needs to find a way to connect with him.
I don't.
So
Well,
don't
I don't know.
don't
I
have an
think
attachment, but you
I
got to
don't think
connect.
I don't think Ahsoka necessarily
I'm
should
sorry,
train
that's-
Baby Yoda or anything like that. I'm just saying the reasons for not training him are complete BS.
Well, what I'm saying is she's out there alone, and there's another of her kind, and it's like, nah, I don't want them. It's like you would think Jedi would want to
She's
be with
busy.
each other,
Yeah.
you know,
She's trying to
'cause-
find Thrawn. She don't want to deal with that little bitch.
Oh.
She's like, I don't want to deal with a fucking kid.
And the other question that
She's
I
like,
actually
no
have is
attachments.
Yeah.
where is Sabine? Like, I would have expected, unless they're off trying to find Ezra and Thrawn on a different mission.
And same with Rex.
With
You know,
Rex.
I thought that when she was trying
Well-
to get in the city and with all the prisoners, I was wondering if Rex was a prisoner.
Rex was going to show up.
Uh-huh,
It's,
yeah.
it's funny.
I was kinda hoping Rex would show
We've
up.
still got 3 more episodes. There's still every chance that we can get another episode with Ahsoka in it and with possibly Sabine and possibly Rex.
Most likely
Rex
it's going to be her own
retired-
series.
I thought Rex basically retired after Endor because he's what? He's still a clone. He's still ages.
No, but he comes back in Rebels.
He hangs out with
Oh,
Ahsoka.
no.
No, Rebels.
You're
is
saying
before,
Rebels
After
happened
Endor,
before that,
yeah.
after
Yeah.
Endor.
but he retired after Endor, and he still ages the same way as a clone. So he's going to double each year. So how old would he be by this point?
He might be dead. That's a
Yeah.
possibility too. Yeah, he might be dead.
Because he's like they didn't alter his aging in any way.
True.
Yeah, he might be dead.
And then he force grabs the little. Oh, let me get the music. You guys can't hear what I can hear. Yeah. I don't know. Stig, you got any comments about this?
The show in general, the episode.
No, like this specific scene that what we've
Right.
been saying.
It's written by a retarded writer.
All right, let's move on from there then. All right, so this scene basically comes straight after the making the deal where Mando and basically a Mandalorian and a Jedi are going to team up, and they'll never see it coming because, of course, they're mortal enemies.
Yeah, because they didn't see that in Rebels and the Clone Wars at all.
Yeah.
Actually,
I don't
the
understand
same
how
Jedi-
Dave Filoni. I don't understand how Dave Filoni can put this in there.
Mandalorian, since you know
It's easy. He doesn't care.
Yeah, I think Rex would be like. I'm sorry. I'm like trying to like.
Yeah.
Rex would have been 26 at the end of Clone Wars. Let's see, it's like 15 years.
He's probably dead.
Didn't he
Rebels.
get the aging
Yeah, I'm saying
boost?
15 years to Rebels, so that'd be 30 years for him to be 56 by the time we see him in Rebels. Then 4 years till the
Probably
OT,
dead.
which would be another 8 years. That's 64, plus another 8 years for the OT, so that's 72.
Hell.
This is 10 years after.
Yeah, plus Dave Filoni
could be like
fucked up
90.
the Clone Wars
So
lore.
he'd be 92. If you were
Yeah,
still alive,
'cause,
he'd be 92.
Dave Filoni, in his brilliance, had the clones age twice as fast after they reached maturity too, which wasn't the case in the canon, right? They were to
Yeah,
reach maturity fast and then age normally.
yeah.
Otherwise, it makes no sense. But he had them age at twice the rate all through their life, right?
Yeah,
so
that wouldn't make
Rex
sense.
would be
G'day, Alex. I didn't see you in the chat.
He'd be like
200 effectively.
He'd be 92, I think, if we were
And
still
so-
alive now.
Solid
Yeah,
stuff,
92,
man.
but effectively with the double aging thing, he'd effectively be close to 200.
Well, no, he'd still be no, not no. That wouldn't be no 92, not doubled 92. He'd be 92. Like
92
were
is with the
aging
doubling
normally-
already done.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. If
Okay.
you were aging normally, he'd be 46. He'd be about the same age as Ahsoka.
Yeah. So that's the most ineffective clone army you could ever have. One that retires from old age in a few years.
Yeah, not exactly brilliant strategy.
Okay, so moving past that, they decide to. It's so funny. I was wondering whether or not are they just going to storm the gate, or are they going to? And then when she came in by herself, I'm like, oh, she's going to say that she beat him, and then obviously that's what she did. She takes him one of his armor plates, his shoulder, and basically throws it on the ground and says, "Your assassin failed, or your bounty hunter failed." Mm-hmm. Yeah. Any comments from here?
What I was just curious, since I basically have not watched any of season 1 or any of this season. Why are they hunting Ahsoka? Or why are they trying to?
No, it's actually Ahsoka is hunting her because her master is Thrawn and she's trying to find Thrawn.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, the other thing I could say about the shoulder thing is if I were an intelligent villain, I'd say like, you defeated him and you brought me his shoulder blade. Like, bullshit. Where's his helmet?
Yeah.
Where's his head?
I'd be like,
I'm keeping that shit. It's Beskar.
Imagine that would have been an awesome scene where like, where's the helmet? And then there's this tense moment. Gosh.
It's Beskar.
What she's basically doing is, I killed the assassin. Here's his left shoe.
Exactly.
No, Lord Vader, I wasn't saying that it's a problem at all. I was just saying, like, that was the moment of the episode where they said that they'd never see it coming.
Yeah, it's a problem. That was the problem, is that they made it seem like this was an impossibility that the two could team up.
Right.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like, of course they could team up. We've seen them teaming up Jedi and Mandalorians throughout all of everything that Dave Filoni did.
Mm-hmm.
So... we were asking that question actually backstage. Why can't they use a tracking fob? Yeah,
because they already forgot about tracking fobs.
Because we don't know how they work because they dropped them. That's the answer.
Well, they completely dropped the idea.
Correct.
So is Thrawn still?
And Filoni's like, we kind of forgot about tracking fobs.
Thrawn's still missing after Rebels, so this is 5 years after he's still missing. So Ezra's obviously still missing as well.
But I'm saying, like, are they still dealing with the space whales? Because that's the last time we saw Thrawn.
Well, we haven't seen space whales yet, but yeah, they're still trying to chase the whales.
Action space whales, that's going to be awesome.
Sweet.
Live action space whales, yeah, that should be interesting, actually.
There she blows.
She throws.
Yeah.
There's the raging rhino symbol again.
She's like, you killed Raging Rhino?
Yeah, fuckers.
I thought we were told you to kill the Mandalorian.
Yeah, like, again, this is something that if someone were reading the script going, this does not make any sense. So if you send an assassin to kill someone, and that person who's like the target kills the assassin, you'd want something more than just a left shoulder pad or something like that. You'd want to say, like, hey, that's why, like, in like basically fantasy stories that either bring the helmets, taking it off the head, like taking off a dead body, or even a body part.
Sword.
Hey, I have a sword. I have something of him that I was able to take without him fighting or her fighting back.
This pretty much exposes how stupid these villains are. I mean,
yep. She obviously didn't learn much from Thrawn.
No, and Thrawn is he used Thrawn.
Or she did. You mean
the personification of the art of war, and in Rebels they turned him into a Scooby-Doo villain.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's more than less than that, Samson. You can do it without seeming like it's quest to quest to quest, things like that. Upgrade weapons. Here's your weapon upgrade.
Yeah.
I understand what Samson's saying, but you can do it without making it feel like that.
It's like what we were saying. When he landed on the planet, I was sitting here going, okay, is he going to meet up with Ahsoka first, or is he going to meet up with this slaving group? And it was kind of like, if I was playing this as a game, it's kind of like, do I go left or do I go right? And it's, I understand that they've got to tell a story somehow, but it does seem like every episode this season has been a boss battle. It's like the end of every episode, you're kind of like doing your quest, you're doing your thing, and then you get to the end and it's just another boss that you're defeating.
Yeah, and then
And
you
then you level up.
Then you
And now
level
he's
up.
assigning quests, remember?
Yeah.
Like
That's just how I feel about it. I mean, you can disagree with me.
Yeah.
That's completely fine. You know,
And I
you
get-
can
I get
think
that-
that
I
it's
get
not
what you're
video
saying.
gaming at all, but
I get what
to
you're
me
saying
it
about
is.
the hero's story. That's like basically the hero's journey. That's like basically like the hero's going to encounter side quests, but like you were saying, it's not going to happen in every episode where it's like you're walking along. It's like, oh, I'll scratch your back if you scratch mine and do this little side quest over here.
Yeah.
You need, if they were doing a true hero's journey, like maybe once every so often in the series, they'd have him do a side quest. But for the most part, you are focused on the main story. The main story is supposed to be him taking this baby space gremlin and reuniting it with its own kind, within the Jedi. And now Ahsoka's saying, I'm not training him. So
Well, the analogy that I'll use for, like, you know, being video gamey compared to actually telling a good cohesive story is the moment where Luke Skywalker decides to go off on his mission with Obi-Wan Kenobi. The result of certain circumstances that happen make him have to make a turn right. Not necessarily his choosing to make. Yes, he does decide to do it that way. But you know what I'm saying? It's like this could have just gone either way. Whereas with Luke Skywalker, it's kind of like the result of every action that's just taken place within this very short period of time has made him have to make the decision, all right, well, now I've got nothing here. My family's just being killed because of these droids that I have. Like,
right, because originally he wasn't going.
I
to go.
just found out that my father.
You know?
I just found out that my father was a Jedi Knight that fought in the Clone Wars with this guy Ben Kenobi, and you know he wants me to go on. He wants me to go on this adventure with him to help save the galaxy. But like I can't. I got work to do back on the farm. Farm's now fucked. All right, I'm gonna go. That's where I see it a bit different. It just seems like.
Well, this is like basically Mando. Like basically, if you're looking at a video game screen, like an RPG, or like and saying like you have the choice to come up the screen. Do I go with Ben Kenobi? Do I stay on the farm? Do I like? It's just like this is what the episodes from what you're describing, what I'm hearing people talk about feel like, versus what you were saying about Luke, and that is basically his decision was made for him when he went back to his homestead and saw the bodies of his aunt and uncle. Because he wasn't going to go. He didn't have that video in front of him going, do I go with this old man who claims he knows my father, or do I go back to my aunt and uncle? And he chose at that point. It's like, I'm staying here, basically. I have to help on the farm. He wasn't going to go. But the decision was made for him.
Yeah.
It's like one of those Telltale games. I play those, The Walking Dead. But whenever you make a choice, you get a little message saying, old Clementine will remember that. It's going to affect the story, and then
yeah.
Well,
just quickly, Jeff, do you need a bounce?
Samson, we don't always get rewards for accomplishing tasks. That's not life. I accomplish stuff on my daily life all the time. I don't get rewards for doing.
Look,
you
I
get
see
the
where
chance for
Samson's
one.
coming from. I see where he's coming from with it, but it's so simplistic. The storytelling in this is just so simple. It's basic. And it just feels like I could play this as a video game. And that's just me. And I think it's a few other people on the panel. And again, it's your decision.
No.
And sometimes the rewards are personal growth. And I'm not really seeing that at all in this show.
None.
He has no core motivations behind him. He's literally just being told where to go, and then he goes there.
Yeah,
he's a man.
He has no. Beliefs. He has no
Well, he does have a belief, but it's the wrong belief of Mandalorians. And...
Well, he believes in the Mandalorian culture, but what I mean is he has no purpose. He has no goal in life. We don't know what. I'm sure he does, but it's just never told to us. He's literally told, "You are now. This person is now your foundling. You have to take him to a Jedi," and he's like, "Okay." And then he goes to his place and he finds somebody, and he said, "Well, in order to find a Jedi, you got to go here." He goes, "Okay," and then it's just it's just a treasure hunt, going from one place to the next place to the next place, and it's not really driven by a whole lot of other circumstances other than he literally just goes to the next person, gets his next waypoint, and then off he goes to the next waypoint.
Yeah.
That's why
Sorry,
it's video game.
Just quickly, Jeff's got to go. Thank you for coming by, Jeff.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Rhino.
You got anything coming up other than a Raging Geek Jedi show?
My Mandalorian review dropped earlier, so you go check that out. I appreciate
Your link
that.
is out there, so
Thank you. And my top 5 pumpkin beer video has been recorded. I just got to edit it and get it out this weekend. So that's finally gonna. It's just a month late, so we're good. And then Raging Geek Jedi show on Saturday night. So yeah, but yeah, and also I'm gonna do a full, like a longer breakdown of this episode next week, like Monday or Tuesday as well. So
Yeah,
much more in depth. So yeah, but thanks for having me on.
Oh,
Good
what's
to
your
talk to you
rating?
again,
What's your
Tim.
rating?
What's
I'd
your
say
rating for the episode?
About 6.5.
Okay.
Cool. I'd go higher than that personally.
Well, it's just because, like I said, like that last half of the episode for me it just started out so strong, and it just went on a downward slope the whole rest of the way. Especially like the last bit, and like like I said, really quickly, the fucking HK droids. She shoots it in the head and it's dead. It's like just okay.
Mando does, you mean?
Those things are supposed to
turns
be
and
like
shoots.
really deadly as fuck. I mean, if this is the 87th version and HK-47 was that deadly, why aren't these things like way deadlier? Like it's just, it was just fucking fan service is what it was. So
I have a
but it
question
works.
that just came to me. All right, we know.
All right, just quickly, Jeff. Thank you.
yeah,
See you later,
guys.
mate.
Good talking to you guys. See you soon.
Bye.
Take care and be well.
Bye.
Sorry,
too.
Mara.
We know from the prequels that Yoda, in a way, is connected to the other Jedi because we saw how he felt them die during Clone Wars, during Order 66. Okay, so basically he could feel them. So how does he not know that Ahsoka? First off, Ahsoka lives because he lives past the Clone Wars and Rebels and the OT.
Yeah.
And
He even communicates with her in Rebels.
yeah, but still says that and don't at all say in the chat that Yoda's talking about Ahsoka when he says this, but he's talking about Leia when he says this. So Yoda only knows about Luke and Leia because like Ben Kenobi says that boy's our only hope, and Yoda says no, there's another, and he's talking about Leia, which is revealed later in Episode 6. So Yoda at this point, according to Rebels, knows Ahsoka is alive. But the only way that he would not know she's alive is if she cut herself off completely from the Force. But she hasn't, because she's using the fucking Force. So are they not communicating at all with each other at Lucasfilm?
Right.
No, they're
It
not.
seems that way.
And
It
they
definitely
didn't even
seems
watch
that
the
way.
movies. They didn't even watch the movies, and
Kitty bear.
I suspect a lot of the fans
your
didn't even
favorite.
watch the movies because I see people try to defend this shit all the time, and you can't because they're like I said, Filoni is retroactively adding, the utmost important character in the Star Wars saga into the period of the movies where she wasn't even in to begin with. That's why you get problems. You can't
Yes,
retroactively.
Lethal, they're adding HK droids now, but they're from what I can tell, they're shit. They're supposed to be hunter-killer droids, but they get taken out easily.
Oh, they're bad. They were bad.
They're just more fodder.
Yeah.
And now it's horrible killers droids.
Yeah.
So basically, they think that the Mandalorian's dead. They send all the troops after her. She pretty much dodges them all. Mando shows up and helps.
But they leave that HK droid out there. Remember, that was so
obvious.
Yeah.
They made sure that you saw that there was still one left.
Yeah, and he was hard to take out too, wasn't he?
Yeah, not really. Let's see it. Where does it
Shot to
come?
the face.
So how many guys was she fighting? And she took off them.
About 9, I'd say.
Yeah,
9?
9.
Okay, Ahsoka's not that good. I'm sorry. No Jedi.
Well, she does it at the beginning too, Mara.
No. Ahsoka is better than that because she was unarmed and defeated an armed Darth Maul. So she's up there with Rey.
You're up there with Rey.
Well, she is though.
Yeah.
She was an unarmed 17-year-old girl, and she beat Darth Maul.
But she's not good enough.
Had a lightsaber.
She's not good enough during this duel here to use telekinesis, like Kylo and Rey did.
I must admit, I'm sorry. I know that, and I was saying this in my review too. There are people out there that are going to like this fight. This fight, it's up there with one of the worst fights in Star Wars.
What, the showdown, you mean?
Yeah, this last bit. I wanted to show because... Oh, no, he doesn't take out that last droid until after she wins that fight, right?
Right.
Because he goes to surrender. Yeah. He goes to surrender, waits for him to drop his hand down by his... They try and give it this Western feel in this moment where, I'm sorry, I didn't feel the Western bit until the actual draw. I don't know. That's just kind of how I felt with it. But all right, so...
I didn't mean to say that she takes them out, all of them. I'm saying 9-on-1. No Jedi is that good. I'm sorry.
Oh, she runs away and she's taking them out individually here and there, because they spread out.
Well, think about this, to Mara's point, Order 66 would have gone a lot differently if your average Jedi was able to take on that many individuals, right?
Mm-hmm.
So...
Yeah. I feel like they were more overwhelmed than just 6-on-1, or the odds being 6-on-1 when it came to the clone troopers against the Jedi in the Jedi Temple.
No,
Anakin took a lot of fucking...
Read the EU, it's still, even just dueling 1-on-1 can be strenuous, depending on the Force user you're dueling, so... And there was I read...
She's talking about the showdown gunfight.
No,
sorry.
I know. I was just going to say, it's so funny because I don't want to destroy anyone. In what I'm saying about it, I really don't want to destroy anyone's enjoyment of it because I can understand maybe why people did like it, but I just have my own personal things with it. It was just a bad...
And,
bad
Ahsoka,
Ahsoka
at this point is still a Padawan.
Well, yeah, she never passes a Jedi.
Yeah. She never became a Jedi. She's a Padawan. And she hasn't been taught anything since then.
I just thought Mortal Kombat when I saw this.
I would have run if I were that chick.
Actually, it looks like Mortal Kombat, doesn't it?
It was exactly it was when the movement happened and they're just moving
Hold on. I'm not going to say that I'm at all versed in samurai fighting techniques, but I took Aikido and I had to learn how to hold a samurai sword. That is not how you hold one. That's not how you hold even a spear. That's not how you hold one.
I find this
this weapon is not or should not even be a remote threat to Ahsoka.
No. Yeah.
Because it's really the only threatening thing is its very tip.
She disarms one of Ahsoka's sabers.
I know.
I
she
could
doesn't
not
have to worry really
that.
about anything about her saber. Because the worst it's going to do is hit her and knock her back or whatever. But it's a blunt weapon. It's not going to cut her. It's just going to it'll hurt. But the only thing that's going to really, really damage her is the very tip. And if you actually frame by frame this fight, holy cow, there are a million opportunities Ahsoka has to just
right here swing with the other blade.
Yeah.
But
fun fact, this lady with a sharp stick is more a threat to Ahsoka than Darth Maul was.
Mm-hmm. And I think also, I didn't say earlier, but you showed that scene where Ahsoka uses both her blades at once against Mando, against his armor. That shows that someone does not know the concept of dual wielding weapons, because the point of dual wielding any weapons is to use one for defense and one for offense.
That's what Greg said earlier.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how you would not use this is. You also have to remember these are not swords in the traditional sense. There's no weight to them. That you have to swing it really hard. It's a plasma cutter basically.
Mm-hmm.
It can slice through things. Every point of that sword is dangerous.
Actually, Samson, if you actually knew anything about Lucas, he took a lot of inspiration from samurai when making A New Hope. So
correct.
Yep.
But not only that. I understand that it's not a samurai story, but this scene definitely gives off a samurai vibe. And when they were kind of standing off there, they looked... it looked very much like Mortal Kombat or a Street Fighter or something like that. And then this fight is so I'm going to hit you here. All right, we're going to pause here for a bit. All right, now I'm going to hit you here. And then it's sped up, but
right
slide down, hands gone.
Just
Yeah.
slice
But
it
see,
up.
look at Samson's next comment. I was waiting for someone to say this. Like,
Ahsoka wasn't trying to kill her.
You
You
can
can
cut
still
off
take.
I was
You
waiting
can
for
still
someone to
take
say
off a
that, yeah.
limb. That's right. You can still take
Hell
off one of
yeah.
those hands to stop her. She just wants to get information.
It
And she was
automatically
more than happy.
cauterizes.
And she was more than happy to kill all her other, followers or whatever troops. I'm sorry, but I just can't.
Yeah.
I still
say, yeah, like, yes, Jonathan. I know he changed his mind, but the original
Could,
inspiration was samurai. Hell, Darth Vader's helmet was based off of samurai helmets. So don't think
Could
you got
you-
a gotcha comment in
this
there. I know
walking
my
and
lore.
pacing.
could you highlight
combat.
Samson's second last comment?
This one.
Yeah. George Lucas said why he sold it. He was raising a
that's no
kid.
secret.
He was raising a kid, and he was getting old.
Yeah.
That's why he sold it. It had nothing to do with the fans.
Yeah.
So educate yourself, you dumb shit.
And I love that little pause there. That's a great, it's a great shot you paused on.
There it was. Your insult. Thank you, Stick. Okay, so people can like this. Samson, if you like it, I don't care. I thought it was a good episode. It was visually fine, but there are issues. And if you just look past those issues and you don't actually question them and you don't actually think about it, then what are you even doing as a fan of this stuff? I mean, this is what we love out of it. The discussion, all of these things. Now, if there are problems, I'm going to point out those fucking problems. If there's continuity issues, I'm going to point out those continuity issues. And everything that Disney does with Star Wars has continuity issues with their own fucking canon as well. Not just fucking against what Lucas did.
Yeah.
They've got fuck-ups in their own fucking canon, and they keep retroactively changing shit to make things worse. So, if you like it, Good for you. Enjoy the shit out of it. It's fucking garbage, B-grade version of Star Wars.
Well, that's
visually
what I was
fine.
thinking earlier during your live stream. Is that it's like, one big reason that I at least loved at one point, not exactly consider myself necessarily part of the fandom anymore, but love talking about Star Wars, and that is because we would have these debates. You would have disagreements. You would have discussions. We were never a consumed product, basically just consume product, accept and move on.
Yeah.
And that's what
Get ready for next product.
That's what I feel like a lot of people who are. I'm not saying everyone who's defending Disney Star Wars is
back to that comment. I resent that because I liked the prequels. I liked the OT. The prequels has its problems. I've talked about it on plenty of live streams. The prequels, the dialogue in the prequels. There's so many issues with it. But I never went out and said that George Lucas was wrong for making Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, but even if you did, that's not why he sold the company. I mean, he said it in the statement when he sold it. It was because he was getting old. He was raising a new kid. He wanted Star Wars to have a life.
Man, it just shits me. This is exactly what I sort of talked about in one of my very first videos that I did. Damage the Disney Star Wars continuity does. The fans right now, doesn't even feel like fucking Star Wars. There's nothing right now that Disney has done of separating the fans. That was never a thing. We always had our issues with certain aspects of it, but we could always agree that the story is tight. The canon is tight. Now it's like, it gets a pass because it looks fucking good. I'm sorry, that's not how it fucking works.
Well,
it never has.
That's why,
never.
The people who say
shits me.
Okay, I'm saying I'm to my point. I'm saying if you like Disney Star Wars, there are people who genuinely like Disney Star Wars and aren't on the level of attacking fans who disagree with them. I will give those fans that. But at the same time, I'm seeing a lot of the reasons for liking certain aspects of at least this show is it feels like Star Wars. Well, it's not supposed to just feel like Star Wars. It's
correct.
It's actually
supposed to be Star Wars.
And I'm looking how low that bar was set with the movies that you're coming off of, basically. And then, and Steve and I have had this discussion a little bit before, and that is, don't criticize Rian Johnson for breaking canon in The Last Jedi, but give Dave Filoni a pass, who has been breaking canon for a lot longer than Rian Johnson has.
Well, I used to be one of those people that gave Dave Filoni a pass, and to this day, I still enjoyed the Clone Wars. I'm not going to say that I didn't, because I did, and I still think that the Clone Wars was decent. But then, of course, you get Rebels, and they do what they do to Thrawn. I enjoyed that when I watched it, and then I read the books for the very first time, and I read them again, and I read them again, and I read them again, because they're so fucking good. And they did cuck him. I used to think about the EU guys that say, Dave Filoni fucked Thrawn. I'm like, he wasn't that bad in it. He really wasn't that bad. And, it wasn't actually that bad. But then you kind of read the books and it is that bad. It is. I don't know. Again, I just want to say, if you like it and you enjoy it, enjoy it. If you don't let me come in and say just because I don't like it means that you it's like everybody gets triggered over everything. I got triggered over him saying what he said in the chat. Anyway.
Will Gentry in the chat says Dave Filoni only broke EU canon. No, he didn't. He broke the movie canon too.
But not only that, he's broken his own canon.
Oh yeah,
in Rebels, or they've broken their own canon. Okay, so in the novelization, the Ahsoka the novel, she refers to the sabers that she leaves at the wrecked ship at the end of what we saw in Clone Wars season 7. Season 7, yeah. They were green. They were green sabers. They were green blades. Her original green blades, and then in this they just they're going to be the blue ones. So the book now means nothing. So the money do I get a refund because they've fucked the continuity of the book and the book means nothing now? I won't read the book again. Just like I will never watch the Disney trilogy again. Should I get a refund for those movies because they're garbage? It's not what I paid for.
Actually, you kind of should, because they marketed the novels and comics as being in perfect synergy with the movies.
Correct.
Yeah.
You got lied to. They breach a contract, Disney.
Yep.
You fucking breached the contract with the fans. And now the fans are fucking fighting amongst themselves. Oh, Raylo's perfect. Oh, fuck Raylo, fucking dumb fucks. Like, it's just like you created this thing. Like Samson in the chat here. Everyone fucking hates everyone now if they even slightly disagree with each other on something. Even though we had our small disagreements with the prequels, we could always say at least the story told the story.
Yeah.
Yep.
At least the continuity was still tight and still in place.
I could at least say, as many as they have with the prequels, it still told one story over 3 movies. It wasn't like one story in another movie and then have it completely subverted in the next movie and then try to fix in the 3rd movie. There was nothing like that. As many as I had.
And to take it to the next level, at least we didn't have identity politics all throughout their media. Mainly in the novels and comics and stuff, but that has become just prevalent. It's more important than actually telling the story. So at least we didn't have that.
Yeah, and there's 6 people on this panel, and everyone of us disagree once per week at least, and it's fine.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we're all old school fans, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the new ones that are, messing things up.
It's weird though. Like I don't.
Telling everyone
except our kids. We're bringing our kids up right. So
yeah, telling everyone we used to bash the prequels and stuff. We didn't do that.
No. We used to fucking gatekeep women out of the fucking fandom. What the fuck?
No.
I'm sorry. Yeah. As a nerd, if there was a chick out there that liked Star Wars, I was like, fuck yeah.
Dude, I had a group 20 years ago.
Shit?
And all we did on weekends was like talk about the books on voice chat and hang out, and it was almost 6 and 6 girls and guys. And it's like, so fuck you. You don't know what you're talking about. We've we've been.
Yeah.
I don't want to say we've welcomed because it's not us to welcome. It's whoever wants to
It was
be.
like throughout this week
So-
there was that website, that female Star Wars fucking website that fucking closed down
Yeah.
because they've got like 5 people that even go to that fucking website.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck, dumbass fucks.
And that's
Like,
true.
what-
And that's
you're
true.
you're not a fucking fan if you think that you were gatekeeped out of the fucking fandom, because I can guarantee you, no one. This, I'm sure it might have been said in maybe a joking way or something like this, possibly taken the wrong way. I'm sure there are the genuine sexist people out there that probably do say shit like that. But when you look at the grand scheme of things in the thousands or the millions of Star Wars fans that are actually out there,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know,
fuck.
last year,
This just
I
triggered me. I'm
hosted,
sorry. I fucking. It's fucking 2:30 in the morning. I'm getting tired and angry and fucking.
well, last year I hosted a Star Wars role-playing game. We played through Hangouts. It had proper Jeremy was in it, Ryan Kinnell, Mara, Mary Mayhem, and Miss Sarcastic Nerd. So three players that were female, 2 were guys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember any gatekeeping
Oh, Sith,
there.
no, 3 were guys, because Sith was there. Sith Gratonian.
Oh yeah, he was there for a while.
Yeah.
But still, you know, and I remember asking people who wanted to join, and I asked people who were Star Wars fans. Didn't give a shit about gender. You know, where was the gatekeeping?
And, well, no, it's like, you know, just I've been part of the nerd culture, not just like Star Wars fan, I'm a part of the nerd culture, like ever since my parents just about literally introduced me to Star Wars, because growing up, I wouldn't necessarily say I was a tomboy, but I was never exactly into what would be considered, you know, I guess, girly things. I played with Barbies, but I also played with Nerf guns. So I really played with whatever interested me.
Mm-hmm.
And I never experienced any... like, I was probably bullied or, like, you know, picked on more by girls for being a nerd than by guys, I would say.
Also, Mara got stuffed in a chainmail gold bikini.
Yeah, he had been
Awesome.
captured by a Phalanx of all... Oh, my
Awesome.
God.
I just want to clear this up. So in the book, yes, she constructs her new white lightsabers. She destroys the 6th brother or whatever, and she uses his crystals and bleeds them out, or does whatever she does to make her white ones.
Which goes
in the novel, in the Ahsoka novel, we get like a flashback thing, or she's going through her memories, and we see they show one of these memories, and her memory is when Anakin, at the end of the Clone Wars, was giving her lightsabers. She refers to those lightsabers as green. Her green lightsaber. He gives me my green lightsabers back. And then when she leaves them at the end of the Clone Wars in the novel, she refers to them again as her green lightsabers. It's something small, I know, but it's something.
Well,
it's like, aren't the people that are writing the books talking to the people that are doing the animation, talking to the people that are making the movies? No, it's clear that they're not, because that would be something that, it's like I said, like, do I get my money back for the book because that one tiny little piece of information now is completely retconned? Like, again, I'm not going to go back and read the book because I've now got the, like, I know it tells a different story, but anyway, it refers to it. That's my only point. And they can't even keep their continuity together in their own canon, let alone keeping it structured within the Star Wars universe that was even created.
And I also don't even remember any gatekeeping happening. I've said this on other like videos and live streams where, like, for me, if you were to go into a comic book shop like and show a genuine either knowledge of a particular franchise, or even say, hey, I don't know much about this, can you direct me to like where I start? Guaranteed every nerd in that comic book shop would be like zero in on you, go like, you should start here, you should start here, you should start here. Doesn't matter what gender you are, they want to help, they want to basically guide you against to like if you're coming into a particular franchise. However, another point to that is if you come in,
they're the ones that she refers to as green,
pretending you know what you're talking about, and you obviously don't, but don't care to correct yourself, then the nerds in the comic book shop will I don't want to say they'll gatekeep, but they'll call out your bullshit.
Yeah.
They will call out your bullshit. That was my experience growing up. So it was never really gatekeeping. It was more or less like, don't come into this fandom pretending like you know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
And-
I was.
It's called being
I was
treated
asking
fairly.
about Batman stuff half a year ago, and I asked Stephanie, who is a girl, but she knows a hell of a lot about Batman. So I asked her
Hell of a lot.
Yeah, what to read and all that. So yeah, where's the sexism there?
Where's the gatekeeping there?
Yeah, it's not a gender thing.
Never sorry, I didn't read the whole chat when I responded to it. Yeah, again, it's a small little nitpick, but it's a continuity issue. It really is. If they want to keep their continuity tight, I mean, they got rid of the EU, which the continuity, I know in some books kind of veered off a little bit, but some people just didn't really count those sorts of, there was a very tight line. I mean, even the fact that Force users now, Jedi, whatever, they can just seem to use these Force abilities sort of easy, willy-nilly, and every single one. I mean, when you read some of the EU books, there's different Jedi have different abilities towards certain things. So some might have a good connection with animals, right? They're able to connect really well and they do research on animals that way and all of that sort of thing. Then there might be some that are really good at navigating through areas of space that haven't yet been charted or anything like that. Not that fucking charting means anything in Disney's canon either, with their stupid, let's just punch into hyperspace and fuck it without putting in any coordinates or anything. It's just things like that. It's just...
Cora and Horn couldn't use telekinesis.
Yeah.
Yeah, another one.
Yeah.
Another one. I mean, I think one of Obi-Wan's specialty is the mind trick. He seems to use the mind trick quite often when we see him. You don't want to sell me death sticks.
Yeah, that's an instance where it just reflects on the EU, and what you're saying is yes, they're Jedi are all trained in similar abilities, but you will show an affinity for a particular ability or abilities. So some are force an affinity for force healing. And before the whole fucking dyad thing came about, there were those who could use force healing. They had an affinity for those. Obi-Wan's affinity was mind tricks. It's called Jedi mind trick, but I can't remember what the exact actual ability is.
Force suggestion.
Force suggestion, or something like that. That was his ability.
Yeah,
even in a book that was released after Disney bought it, which is Jedi and Apprentice, which tells the story of Qui-Gon
Master
Jinn,
and Apprentice.
Master and Apprentice. Sorry, what did I say?
Jedi and Apprentice.
Master and Apprentice. Sorry, it is getting really early in the morning.
It's all good.
Master and Apprentice. That was released after Disney took it over, and in that book, Obi-Wan refers to how all these other Jedi or Padawans are off with their masters on these missions, doing their special sort of unique, with their own special unique abilities. They're off doing these missions with one's discovering a new planet, and there's a lot of life on the planet, and they're really good with connecting with these living beings and things like that. And there's another one that's charting. That's where I got the whole thing from, really. That's their own canon. And again, it's in everything that we see visually, it's like anyone can do anything. But in their books, they refer to it's certain Jedi can do this, certain Jedi can do that, unless it's Ahsoka or Rey or something like that.
I like Mace Windu's specialized power, being able to find the shatter point in both objects and in situations. I think that's just fucking cool.
And Luke had that too. He
did he really?
Shatter. Yeah, I think that was Luke's special thing. He could shatter guns and all kinds of stuff.
Nice.
Well, even in Jedi Fallen Order, he's got the ability where what he touches, you can sort of see the history of that object, or at least,
that's a rip-off.
I understand that I get that, but it is an ability that Jedi do have.
No, Quinlan Voss had it due to his
Quinlan Voss was
Guardian.
his, basically
Kifu.
his species
Yep.
in a way. It wasn't a Jedi thing. It was an innate ability they had, which he used as a Jedi as a side, power, right?
There should be no remaining Jedi. That's the thing with that.
It's a game mechanic in a boring, insignificant.
It is.
Yeah,
written video
They just
game.
stole it from the EU because Quinlan Voss had that one.
Yeah. And Quinlan Voss was an awesome character.
Oh man, in the comics he was. Yeah.
Did you read the book? That also came out after Disney acquired it.
No.
The book that he ends up, the Jedi Council send him off to go and team up with Asajj Ventress. And he ends up,
I never read it. I haven't read it.
ends up falling in love with her, and he sort of turns to the dark side. And the reason why they send him off to do that is so that he can defeat Dooku. And they use Ventress because, of course, Dooku in the Clone Wars portrays Ventress.
Yeah, in the Clone Wars, though, Quinlan Voss was just reduced to Rastafari surfer dude.
Yeah.
That's all he was.
Oh, so sorry, I just have to show this. So this is where Ahsoka gets disarmed by a non-Force user using a Beskar steel rod. Oh, she's already been disarmed. Sorry, I missed it.
Maul couldn't do that.
Sorry, I have to pause for a second. I went too far.
That I don't have a problem with, though. Because they're still kind of fencing in a way, right? So she could be disarmed.
Again, using both blades at the same time. So.
And she disarms her there. Like,
And she doesn't.
sorry,
She doesn't reach
really?
out and just grab the
it.
lightsaber back with the force.
No force.
That's
use
another
at
thing
all.
too. No Force use in this whatsoever. Now she's going up against an enemy that, as far as I know, is not a Force user. I was sitting here when I was watching. I'm like, just pin her up against the wall, and get the information that you need. You've beaten everyone that's going to try and take you out. She's got a spear.
Just
lift her up.
Just drop her in the water.
I'm sorry. There's an issue here. So
it's like the old time serials that I would watch, or the movies from the golden age of Hollywood where these guys would get into fist fights, and one guy would knock the other guy down, and instead of just basically pummeling the guy while he's on the ground, they'd actually lift the guy up just so they say let me hoist you back up so I can punch you back down to the ground again. Makes no sense.
I mean, the choreography of this
it's like with this choreography, it makes no sense. Like, why would you do that?
This is the thing that this is why even Jeff, it started off actually really good, because the movement and everything, it was really quite clean and consistent, and goes along the lines of Ahsoka and how quick she can actually move. It was awesome. And then this is just it's like really big swings and telegraphing what you're about to do, and I don't know. It wasn't
expect
good.
This kind of lightsaber fighting from Finn in The Force Awakens.
Yeah,
but yeah, she's making baseball swings. And she's just not using the Force.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't grab her other lightsaber. I mean, a million things.
And Biggles, yes, he did say it was Japanese honor duel, but at the same time, she could still have at least Force pushed her away to regain her.
We're still alive.
Balance.
And I guess the guards were not. They were not worthy of that same consideration. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
That was so.
That was so cliche, where the bad guy pretends
movie,
to
Ryan.
surrender and then grabs another weapon.
Clip.
There you go. Yeah. So yeah, he just takes him
And
out.
then here's the droid.
That's right. This guy comes out. Let's just skip 10 seconds. Oh, we
Watch
just
out
missed
behind you! It was like one of those types of scenes.
Yeah. Pause.
I thought he was going to get
Pause.
shot, honestly. That
You
guy.
know,
Behind you.
Behind you! Watch out!
One shot
Gojira!
to the head.
that little
Droid down.
rocket thing that the Mandalorian uses, the wrist rocket launcher thing.
Whistling birds or whatever the hell it
Yeah,
is.
that makes no sense, because how can those rockets know who's an enemy or not? They're
I
like
thought about that in the
psychic-
bar scene, Stieg.
Yeah, they're psychic rockets.
Mm-hmm.
G'day, Porg. Did Darth Maul fall? Where is? Yeah, he.
Okay.
Did he?
What's your
Sorry,
point?
sorry. I was what? Are you
I would say that that's stupid as well. Then
Yeah, like,
this?
thanks for perpetuating the stupidity, if that is true.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, Darth Maul is a joke after the Clone Wars.
I think that he was toying with him, but I thought that he was using. Are you talking about when in the Clone Wars when he goes up against Gar Saxon?
Is that the blonde guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just curious because I thought that at the end of that fight he does use the Force against him, like after he actually beats him with the saber, because he's got the dark saber and the. Anyway, I can't remember. I'd have to go back and watch it. Yeah.
Mora is in the back room again.
Ah, how did you? Oh man, sorry. Have you been waiting long? Sorry.
No, Chrome quit on me.
love it when
That's
I
been
didn't
happening
even-
to people.
I didn't even notice. I'm sorry.
You're just a toxic male, toxic Star
Yeah, I
Wars.
know. Fucking women.
You gatekeeped.
Coming
Sounds
and
like a
going
helmet
whenever
to
they
the
want.
Literally.
Coming and going whenever they want.
Probably some makeup or something.
No, but I'm gonna have to jump off soon and take my dog out because she's giving me the look right now.
Oh, so hang on. You'll love this line. Let me just get back to here. I'm going to.
you're allergic to subtitles, aren't you?
Oh, I hate subtitles. Oh, okay.
I watch everything with
Wow.
them on.
Why didn't that work?
I only watch. I won't say I watch everything with them on, but I'll put them on just so I can have the. If I can't turn the volume up,
Mm-hmm.
I put them on just so that way I can still follow them.
Now
And
tell
these
me.
days, audio sucks. You can hear noises and music, but not the dialogue. A lot
Yeah.
of the
You're
time.
massive.
Oh god, I had a worse experience with Blade Runner 2049 because of that. I still have yet
Ugh.
to watch it on our DVR with the subtitles, just so I can understand what they're saying. But in the theater, could not understand a thing they were saying.
Yeah, audio mixing.
Hey,
I was
Apollo.
saying last week,
I know you've been in the chat
all
for a
the good
while.
audio mixers must have died 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And everybody now sucks.
Where is
Found
Grand
little
Admiral
Verizon
Thrawn?
That is true. They are in the Clone Wars. Again, it doesn't necessarily. It does, but it doesn't. I don't know. Gives it a pass for me. I think that the funny thing is the more I read the expanded universe, the more I dislike things like the Clone Wars or things from the Clone Wars or just certain, especially from Rebels. I mean, there's some really bad stuff in that. But there are some really good bits in that as well. There are some really good episodes in Clone Wars and there are some really good episodes in Rebels.
The Clone
My
Wars was
opinion.
supposed to follow the EU, because it's part of the EU expanded universe. It's expanded from the movies.
Yeah.
But then after George went to do Red Tails, Filoni was left to his own devices, and he just steamrolled all over everything. And Karen Travis, one of the best Star Wars writers, quit because of it, because she was told to fix it. But you can't retroactively fix 10 books,
Right.
We were talking about this earlier. That wasn't a bit of an issue. She obviously refers to herself as not being a Jedi. She definitely likes to make that clear to people. And then when they refer to her as a Jedi, she doesn't correct them. I think we all noticed a bit of that.
She told Bo-Katan she wasn't a Jedi over and over again. And then she goes, "Yeah, I know a Jedi. It's Ahsoka Tano. Go look for her." Yeah, the one that told you 20 times she wasn't a Jedi.
See, this line here is like, I really, really cringe for a couple reasons. One, it's just okay. Now they're gonna bring Thrawn into this convoluted mess, and try and work him in somewhere in between the sequel or the OT and the sequel movies. But also the way it was delivered, like she went out of her way to say like your master all throughout the episode until this big reveal at the end, and like both of these two characters know exactly who they're talking about, right? They know, she knows that she's talking about Thrawn, and she knows she's talking about Thrawn. They both know who they're talking about. But she, like, says his full title, like, Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Yeah.
And it was, for me, it was the Khan moment in Into Darkness. It was like, you're talking to the audience, you're not talking to another character that you're facing. That was for the audience and the audience alone, like, ooh, we're going to drop the name now.
Was he a Grand Admiral in Rebels, or was he just an Admiral?
Grand Admiral.
Yeah, he was a Grand Admiral in Rebels. They still turned him into a Scooby-Doo villain, but he was a Grand Admiral.
He gets defeated by a tentacle. I mean,
by space whales. It's another thing that's a bit ridiculous in Rebels that I didn't really like.
And Space Aladdin and his blue monkey keeps defeating him in every episode as well.
I didn't mind Ezra. I'm sorry. I know there's people out there that think that he's fucking... And I don't disagree. There are some bits where I'm like, oh my god, seriously. But I didn't mind it. I liked it. I kind of did. And I'm not ashamed to say it.
You should be.
Yeah.
Yes, probably right. I should be.
Well, I mean, like, we've seen his prowess in the Star Wars trivia, so not surprised that he's third level.
True. Thanks, Mara.
You're welcome, Bigfoot.
Good point.
That was a stab.
Bonus 1,000 points for you in the next trivia.
We're not doing it anymore, all right?
Oh, I still love you, Bigfoot.
Mara promised we were gonna do it.
Yeah. That's another thing. I finished the campaign on Black Ops Cold War. So.
What'd you think?
I mean, I'm not saying the twist was necessarily a surprise, but it's like awesome, like the options you had. And I kind of went with like one set, and I think I might play through it again and go through. Like,
I'm gonna do the same thing. I thought I was gonna do the same thing. That was good. All right, stay on target. Good idea. All right, let's stick with the Mandalorian. All right, so basically this is where it starts to end. I actually thought it was going to end at this scene where he's like saying it's time to say goodbye, and I honestly thought that was going to be the end of the episode. But he's kind of packing up all... I was going to say Baby Yoda again.
Grogu. I've heard that Baby Yoda gets given to Ahsoka in season 3, actually.
I think we're going to see Ahsoka again this season, but I've been wrong before, so I could be wrong again.
I think this is one and done for her for this season.
You reckon?
I feel the same way, yeah.
You might be right. So she sends him to... I think I need to... Because this is in a different window. Put subtitles on. Yeah.
I am Grogu.
Put on the German ones just so that's in 9.
Better pause it.
Yeah.
He made sure I
got to go back a little bit further.
Man, Jedi are just so duplicitous.
So
she's not a Jedi, but...
She's not taking the child. And I wanted to so be right. Like, again, they were... like, when he left the village to go and get the child to bring him back to her, I was like, yes, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And then it didn't happen. I was like, fuck. I want to be right so bad.
So, the point of his quest was to give Baby Yoda to her. That's the mission he got from Bo-Katan, right? And then it doesn't happen.
And she's like, nah.
So that makes the episodes pointless.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Hey, subhuman.
Well, no, I mean, he has his new waypoint now.
Mm-hmm.
Has he got a wayfinder to get there?
That was so... we haven't talked about that yet. Here's what you must do. You must climb to the top of the mountain, and
Well, see,
that
that's
was
what
like
that's what
the
I'm
most
getting to
video
here.
game thing ever. Yeah,
This is what I'm getting to here. This is exactly what I wanted to show.
Oh my god.
There's another possibility.
Mm-hmm.
Why not just talk to the New Republic people and ask where Luke is?
Because
That would-
apparently they
that
don't know
would
who he
make
is.
too much sense.
Yeah, the famous Jedi helped
Yeah.
destroy the Sith just a few
Why?
years ago.
Why are they
Yeah,
bringing up Python? Why are they bringing up Python?
But look at what he's got to do. So Ahsoka's not going to take him there to do this because she should be the ones to take him there to do this. If this is the journey that
Ancient ruins.
has a strong connection.
Yes, yes. That's literally.
So he's got to be
Next
placed
line
on the
is like,
thing
and then you will
stone.
need a
Python.
shrubbery.
Tython is like just about literally the birthplace of the Jedi. Ancient ruins, strong connection to the Force. Oh my fucking god!
Yeah, and then he's got to place him on the Seeing Stone. Now, I believe this Seeing Stone is probably the same stone that Luke died on, maybe.
Stone.
You know, so hopefully he'll place Baby Yoda on the stone, and
I'm sorry,
Grogu. Sorry,
that's one.
and
Of the
maybe he'll
dumbest
die.
things. That's one of the dumbest things I'm reading right now. Seeing Stone.
Yeah, Seeing Stone.
Someone
And then
watched
look what
the
he's got to do.
Reddit.
It's
And look what he's got to do.
Sauron, the Eye of Sauron.
Then
Yeah,
Grogu.
he's literally taking him to Mount Doom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
throw him in the fire, would you?
Oh my god. Yeah.
If he reaches out with the Force,
You better pause
or
it.
through the Force, sorry, it is pause.
Oh, it is okay.
Yeah.
You never know with that little
If he reaches
bastard.
out through the Force, there's a chance the Jedi might sense his presence and come searching for him. So basically, you want.
There's a chance a Jedi might come searching for him. Yeah, there's a chance dark side users might too.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying it's like there's a. Oh my god.
Then
Like,
again, hold on. Then again, there aren't many Jedi left. This
No,
is 5
there
years
aren't-
after Return of the Jedi.
There's only fucking one left right now. Right now, because Luke hasn't started his school, his Jedi Academy. There's only one left right now.
Well, two, because Ezra.
Well, I'm not counting Space Aladdin right now. There's only one Jedi left.
I'd like to know how Ewoks could beat Stormtroopers. Yes.
And Subhuman Python was canon. It was part of the EU. There literally is a book called Dawn of the Jedi. It wasn't spelled Jedi like we know. It's spelled JE apostrophe, I believe, DAII, Jedi. Literally the birthplace of Jedi. Before they were split between like the two. Just to give you a brief history lesson, there were no Sith and Jedi. There was Jedi, and then Dark Force users split from the Jedi and intermingled with Sith species, and they took that name, Sith, to set themselves apart from Jedi. So that's where we got the term Sith. So yes, Python was canon at one point. But because it was part of the EU, it was scrapped. But now they're bringing it back.
Yep.
Sure, why not?
And the
That's
two
it, I
moons,
didn't have source material.
and even in the Ahsoka novel, the two moons of Python are Bogon and Ashla. In the Ahsoka novel, Ashla is, if you read didn't read the Dawn of the Jedi book, Ashla is the light side moon. Is like the light side of the Force. Ahsoka takes that name as a pseudonym to hide her identity.
In the Ahsoka novel, yeah, she does.
And that's the name of a little girl too. That's Togruta in Attack of the Clones. One of the little students. But
And
anyway,
Bogon is
It's so funny. Like, again, I find it hilarious. I do my review. I did talk quite highly about it. Go and watch it. It's only 8 minutes long. If you haven't seen it, check out my review. Please do. You'll find it hilarious to see how much I've already changed my thoughts on this episode. Again, I will say visually, it's a good episode. Like, and
Surface level.
It's exactly right. Surface level, it's a good episode, but it falls flat when you start to again pick it apart. And I think that goes with a lot of the Mandalorian episodes. Like everyone's so hyped about it. I love this episode. I love this episode. Like people are enjoying it, but again, I think about rewatchability as well. There's not much rewatchability to these episodes.
Made
Dawn of the Jedi.
A comic book. It might have been made canon, but that's like what George Lucas does. Like he literally took Coruscant from the EU and put it in the prequel. So it might have become canon as a result of that, but it's in this book right here, the EU, which was scrapped.
Entertainment Star Wars, I'm glad that you like it, but again, it's surface level, it's okay. Again, the fact that something feels like Star Wars, and there have been some parts of this that have not felt like Star Wars, and a lot of that has actually had to do with the music. Even some of the music in this episode, I think it was, I can't remember because I watched 2 episodes tonight. My mate came over and he missed episode 3, so I had to go back and watch that. But there was a musical bit, I don't know whether or not it was in that episode or this episode, that didn't really feel like Star Wars.
So I'm just thinking about them singing and stuff, like, you know, like a Muppet or Disney movie or something. When you said musical, my bad. I wasn't laughing at you.
Like it's so funny. It's not the worst thing out there, but it's not like it's Disney Star Wars. It's a completely different thing now. It's
it's different from the other Disney things. It's separated from everything.
That's a weird thing to think about. The fact that they really fuck their own canon. They fuck their own continuity. Weird.
Dave Filoni has now fucked up the Mandalorians in 2 canons.
Yeah. And like as I was going to point out earlier, because you brought up Karen Travis, a woman literally developed the Mandalorian lore from the armor to the culture to the language, almost not exactly on the level of Tolkien, but damn near close.
Yeah, I just want to say, Chris Clark, not under Disney. Not under Disney.
Even then, I don't think I would watch it because. I mean, the more what I know of the OT, like Star Wars belongs on the big screen. It should not be relegated to a streaming service. Granted, this is a show and it's different, but at the same time, it's like you're putting the Kenobi as a series on Disney Plus, and I'm like, Kenobi deserved his own movie, and you're putting him on your streaming service.
You know,
Miss Martin got it. It's fan fiction universe. It's
Well, that implies that they're fans really that they're not. But when Disney scrapped the EU, all they had to keep track of in terms of continuity was 6 movies, and they couldn't even do that.
I wonder if who was it that came out and said it?
Anita Sarkeesian.
Anita Sarkeesian, that's right. I need some attention.
Oh, God.
I wonder what she's going to say about this episode. There was no female woman that spoke in this episode.
Yeah.
That's what
we didn't even see a female until 40 seconds in.
Yeah, I know. Geez. Oh my God.
We should have got to see a naked boob. Anyway. Well, look, that's pretty much the episode. Sorry, I'm getting a bit tired here.
So basically, this episode ends with Ahsoka telling him to put the baby space gremlin on a seeing stone and act like a beacon for Force users, whether good or bad. All right.
Yeah, and basically reach out through the Force, and basically send out a signal like a beacon to other Jedi, and someone will come for them.
Instead of just going to the Republic and asking for Leia, so she can tell Luke or whatever.
Yeah.
Who's a famous Jedi at this time. Blew up the Death Star, helped destroy the Sith.
Yeah, and if it's not widely known, if we just make that assumption, which I find a hard pill to swallow, then wouldn't at least Ahsoka know about Luke? I mean,
Well,
Yeah,
parents
she's-
would have heard
You
the
would think
name.
so.
sense.
And the
Yeah.
fact that he's a Skywalker as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, she
yeah,
would at least put 2 and 2 together. Even if she hasn't met
Yeah.
him, she would have heard his
Mhm.
name and go, "Hey, there's like only one other Skywalker I've known in my
Yeah.
entire life."
Yeah, plus she would have sensed Anakin dying.
Yeah.
And Anakin's Force Ghost might have talked to her.
yeah.
That would make sense, but,
Mhm.
we're not getting any sense on this show at all.
Look, it kind of would make sense if Luke came in and took the child out or something like that, or had at least a cameo in it. But again, it's this universe that's a fan fiction universe. It's the Star Wars universe. It all leads into the sequel trilogy.
Yeah, that's what I was
It doesn't make it that fun anymore. It doesn't make it that exciting anymore. Like talking about it, yeah, but again, it's Disney's canon. And
I
if
I
you
guess
know,
that
you-
was reason for doing it because he kind of wants to fix Luke, but at the same time, you can't fix a character that's going to get destroyed later on. And we know the only way to fix Luke as a character would be to create another timeline and bring the EU back into canon, and create stories around that. So basically, you have like 2 separate timelines: one where the Disney Star Wars happened, and one where the expanded universe happened. That's the only way you'd be able to fix Luke. But they're not going to do that. And they're just going to bring him back and be like, hey, you remember Luke was a badass Jedi, right? Yeah, well, I know he like died, like basically using the Force and died like a fart on the wind on a rock. I'm saying like, no, I know what happened. So like, it's not going to really fix it in any way. It's just going to prolong the inevitable, and that is what happens to him later on.
I just wanted to say I love this name, Brutal Morningwood. It's an awesome name. But yes, he.
Yeah, Matt Martin.
Yeah, Brutal Morningwood has a tendency to insert himself everywhere.
Yeah.
And even Matt Martin. This is a guy who's supposed to maintain nudity. He's supposed to maintain like the.
Well, yeah, that's the point. That's exactly what Matt Martin
He
said.
he posted a picture of like they're reintroducing B-wings into the Star Wars universe, and he didn't even know the reason why they were named. He was like, I don't know, because they look like a bee. It's like, you're supposed to know this shit. It's like basic Star Wars knowledge.
Hey,
And
Jedi,
You know what's still good though these days? The Witcher and Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
So there's still good stuff out there.
I'm still looking forward to The Witcher. I do have
it's funny, I
like,
didn't even think about that.
I do have like my guard up just in case.
Mm-hmm.
But I was impressed with season 1. And Cobra Kai, I'm definitely looking forward to season 3 in January.
Oh man, season 3 of Cobra Kai. I'll be doing reviews of that, everyone.
I'll
I fell in love with that again, and I'm a massive Karate Kid fan. I've got an idea of. I've started putting together scenes for a prequel, a Karate Kid prequel.
Johnny Lawrence is my spirit animal.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love Cobra Kai. It's so fucking good, so fucking good. So yeah, when that drops, I'll be doing reviews of that. Look, I do want to try and wrap this up. I'm getting really, really tired, and I'm hungry as hell too now. Let's go around the table and give our ratings, and I guess any more overall thoughts that you want to give on the episode. So, Tim, what would you give it out of 10?
Yeah, okay, and again, I'll really quickly explain my rating system so people don't think I'm crazy. So you can look at it within the show itself, and then across everything I like, right? So within the show itself, it was probably stronger, probably an 8. But overall, when I say I'm comparing it to Empire Strikes Back and Lord of the Rings movies and stuff I really like, then good grief, probably like a 4. So we've talked about it for the last 3 hours, what we don't like about it. And that's my honest opinion, and I could write a dissertation on why and how, but I think we've kind of done that verbally. Are we going to go ahead and plug our stuff now anyway, so we can kill 2 birds with one stone?
So basically,
Okay.
We'll wrap it up. So give your rating and
those are my ratings. The links are out there, everyone. Tonight at 10:35 Central, after Friday Night Tights, Greg here and I And if Stig, if he'll join us, but I think he said he's kind of wanting to avoid that topic. We're going to talk about politics, specifically have a rational discussion about the effects of COVID-19 on the world. And it should be pretty
good. If I'm
good.
awake, I can be on.
Okay, well, I'll send it to you, and if you're there, then pop in.
Awesome.
And then tomorrow's Raging Geek Jedi, I'm going to do my Mandalorian video, and I started a project last night. I finally started it. I've been talking about it, and I think it's going to be awesome. Hopefully, we'll see the first video within 2 weeks, and it'll be like a series. Trying to do something different instead of doing the same old thing that every other channel's doing, talking about the same stuff. So, thank you very much.
They've been good.
Thanks for having me as well.
No worries at all. Go and subscribe to Open Airlock Policy. Tim, please drop your link in the chat.
Yeah, it's all up there
everyone.
about 5 minutes ago. All of ours.
Awesome.
So
go and check those out. Stig, I enjoyed your last top 5. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
That was a Thanksgiving special. It was a Thanksgiving special. We all got honored with a video that wasn't expected. Have you got anything coming up or anything that you want to plug?
Gonna be on Christie's channel tomorrow for the top 10 movie list thing. We're doing 2001.
Yep.
So the spoiler, everyone's probably gonna have Fellowship of the Ring, right?
You have to.
better.
Yeah.
They better.
Yeah.
Other than that,
And sorry, what would you give the episode in a rating? I know you didn't watch the whole thing, but you pretty much did through this stream. So what's your overall rating?
I'd give it a steel-tipped boot up the ass.
We're going to do that.
That translates as a 0.5,
Can you bring
I
up
think.
the Tuscan Bob review, please?
Have you seen it yet, Rhino? Because you're
No,
in
I haven't watched it.
Okay,
I can't
you're in
wait
it.
to
So,
see it.
and I laughed hard.
Because Tuscan
so-
Bob's going to make me wrong. Like, he's going to rub in the fact that I was wrong. I already know.
Well, you know, when it comes to the episode, though, what I feel about it is I just started reading the Black Fleet Crisis EU books, and I'm looking forward to book 2. That's how I feel about The Mandalorian. I'm having a blast with the old books.
Yep. I mean, that's the other thing, too, for me, is it really has highlighted how good the EU is. A lot of this stuff has really highlighted how good and how tight the lore and the continuity of it really was. They tried to keep it as tight as possible. Sometimes they might have failed here and there a little bit, but, you know, and that's where some of the discussions do come into it with the fandom.
Have you gotten to the new Jedi Order yet?
No, I'm currently doing Shadow... What was that one? The Darth Maul one.
Oh, Shadowhunter.
Yeah.
Shadowhunter.
Yeah, good
Man,
stuff.
that has been unreal so far. I'm at the beginning of chapter 3.
Yeah.
So, like, there's only 4 chapters.
Compare that Darth Maul to what you saw in the Clone Wars and
Oh,
Rebels.
yeah. Man, this badass shit. Like, if you have not read Shadowhunter, go and read that book. Honestly.
Just wait till you
I
start
haven't
the
even
new Jedi
finished
Order
it.
books.
I haven't even finished it, and it's fucking sick.
You got you got Legacy of the Force. They were able to maintain continuity over, like, how many dozens of books, basically?
Probably 30, 40 books.
Yeah.
Had a rock-solid continuity going on.
Yeah, I did hear about that one.
The new Jedi Order books, though, Rhino, once you get to those, it's 19 books, and it's all out war, and nobody's safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Same thing in Legacy of the Force.
Actually, I'm
There's
done with
so
this
much I'm
semester.
gonna read.
I'm done with this semester, and I actually have like no more classwork in, and all I have to do is like start my student teaching versus like that work. I'm probably gonna pick up the new Jedi Order again.
Hey, Rhino.
Nice.
Yeah.
Start reviewing the EU books on your channel.
No, I'm definitely going to do that. And I'm even going to go back and I'm going to do a review for each individual book from the Thrawn trilogy. I'm going to do the Kenobi book because I do have a few things. I liked it, but there was a couple of things, especially at the end of the book. It didn't end the way that I wanted it to end as I was going through this story. So
potentially it had a really dark ending, actually. With some characters going to Alderaan.
Yeah. Well, that's true too, and him sending them there. But yeah, no, I'm going to probably do some reviews of some EU books. It's something that I definitely need to get done. did you give us a rating out of 10?
Yeah, you gave it a steel-toed boot up.
A Beskar
Oh,
boot
yeah.
up the ass. Yeah.
Sorry, I needed to show this. I showed this backstage before. This is my nephew's laugh. I have to show this. So, there, you can see him there, right? But listen to this. He sounds like a machine gun.
That's great.
It's Janice from Friends.
Yeah.
One more. Sorry, it's just funny. All right, Mara, thank you for coming on here at the end. Your rating out of 10 from what you didn't watch the episode, did you?
No.
You've only seen it from here.
I've been living vicariously through you guys doing the live stream, basically.
Based on what you've seen and heard, what would you
I couldn't really give, I would say, an honest review because I haven't really I've just been seeing scenes here and there that you've been talking about, so I can't exactly overall rate the episode fairly, I would say.
That's fair enough.
But from what I'm hearing, I'd probably put it right in the middle of the road, like a 5. Just at least to be fair, from from what I'm was able to talk about and give my opinion on. Now, as far as plugging anything for my channel, I don't know. I might stream tonight. I might not. I don't know. I'm just basically using these yesterday and today to today after yesterday to kind of just unwind. So we'll see. We'll see what I do that. But definitely we'll be streaming tomorrow at my normal time, 10 p.m. Eastern, for the Talk Nerdy to Us I do with Steph from My Nerdy Home.
Yep.
And then hopefully get back on a regular schedule next week because beginning next week I'll only have one major paper to write, so I'm done really with classroom work. And it's just I'll have basically more free time to work on stuff. My YouTube channel and get back onto Twitch, hopefully.
Yes. So go and subscribe, everyone, to Mara's channel on YouTube and on Twitch, please.
Yeah, both
what
of
is the
them are
name
out
on
there.
Twitch? There's Jade Shadow on YouTube, but what is it on
Jade
Twitch?
Fire.
Jade
Fire, that's right. And someday we're going to get Jade Jedi.
Well, actually, I'm on Parlor now, even though I keep forgetting.
And what's the name on there?
Jade Saber.
Jade Saber. There you go.
I had to go with the theme of her ships. So I was like Jade Shadow, Jade Fire, and
she likes to keep us guessing.
But yeah, and we're going to have to do some Call of Duty Black Ops multiplayer because they have zombies now. So
yep. Oh man, I've been hanging to play zombies with someone on that, and I need to be able to White Knight for you at some point.
Yeah, I know. You have to come to my honor in the Call of Duty lobby.
That's right. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Do it. All right. And thank you for coming on. Before we get to Greg, I just want to thank Nerd Cookies, Elaine. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you. And again, we all have different opinions, and it's awesome to have somebody on that has differing opinions. We've all got differing opinions by the looks of things. So thank you for coming on. Sorry?
Elaine was great.
She is awesome. She really is. She knows her shit too. Unless she actually likes the episode, then she really doesn't know anything. No, of course, I'm only joking. Geek Blend as well, thank you for coming by. And, of course, I hope you get your new TV all safely installed. Tuscan Bob, Lost Jedi 22. Greg, your rating out of 10, please. And please plug your channel, and we'll get into Tuscan Bob's review.
Again, story and lore, it's going to top out at 5. Choreography, directing, I didn't like very much. A lot of walking for no reason. Yeah, can't say I particularly enjoyed it. There were some moments that were good, and mostly not. As far as my channel, you can subscribe to me at Lost Jedi 22. Follow me on Twitter and Parler at Lost Jedi 22 as well.
Awesome. And your rating?
5.
5.
Sorry, I missed it. Again, I'm so I read the chat and I tune out of what somebody's saying, then I come anyway. I'm losing the plot. All right, and please go over and check out Tuscan Bob's review this week.
I put the direct link out there, guys. So
I get a cameo Do you want to make that full screen?
Yeah.
As well, and turn your audio on. Yes, so everyone in the chat, let me just, before we start this, let me just thank a few people that I can still see here. Miss Martin Muses,
Yes,
Kitty Bear,
This is awesome.
Nerd Cookies again, Lord Vader, thank you as always for being here and challenging me in the chat. Biggles Mets, Soul Assassin, Lethal Lightning, of course, my brother from another mother, Jedi Lukey.
Oh, Jedi Lukey's here.
Yeah, I saw one. Yeah, I saw one there from him. Chris, there were a couple of Chris's. Thank you both, all of you, for being here.
Biggles and Orange Hat was here earlier.
Jonathan. Yeah, anyway, look, everyone, if I missed you, thank you again. I appreciate all of you for coming by. Please smash the like button if you did enjoy the stream. We're, of course, going to do the last 3 episodes as per usual, so there'll be my review. And please go and watch my review and smash the like button over there as well. But we'll be doing this, of course, for the last 3 episodes. And then we'll be getting back into just some normal casual rage for a bit and breaking down some episodes. So thank you, everyone. And let's watch Tuscan Bob make fun of me. Make it full screen. Oh, shit. What we've been saying the whole time. Great stuff.
Green privilege.
Oh yeah, we barely talked about that actually.
Their steps are getting in.
Is this your longest one?
I think so, yeah.
You had a lot. You got a lot in here. Mm-hmm.
The look on that face.
Yeah. bastard. Very well done. Very well done.
10 out of
Again,
10,
go
not
over
to be.
and give that a thumbs up. Go and watch it. Give it some watch time. Thank you, everyone, again for being here. Appreciate all of you. And have a good day, a good night, wherever you are. Thank you, and we'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.